really think that some of the guys that you dealt with at NBC, no names, right? Because there's lawsuits for that too. That some of these guys really want to promote racism actively, or is it a subconscious?
I just think it's part of capitalism, is to promote racism, right? In order to make things work. If you feel better because you're white and you can get a job, you use that. I mean, I would.
Absolutely.
Say, I'm sorry, Jack, but shit, they say I'm white. I'm going to use this.
Right. Absolutely.
Get this job. I'm hungry, But, and that separates people. So they keep people separated, and that keeps them from thinking about the real problem. That's as simple as I see it. Probably it's not that simple, but.
Now, all right. You and I are about the same age, right? We're in our mid-30s. How long is it going to take before guys who think like you, and I say guys who think like me, people who don't want to have racism in the country, people who don't want to be oppressing any minority, whatever it is, sexual, whatever minority, really get into positions of power and can change things?
You can't get in a position of power, it seems, if you think like that. It seems that the only time you get in a position of power is if you're like the people that are in power. To me, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, people that get to become executives become like the people that were already executives.
I don't know, maybe
they go in with good intentions, but it eats them up. It's like a cesspool, it just gets on you and it starts
the system
eating.
levels them.
Pretty soon it's all
gone. Is that
gone.
what a cesspool sounds like?
Yes.
Check your audio, CJ.
Welcome to another stream with Nick and CJ. I wanted to start off with this clip with the great Richard Pryor talking about capitalism, and I thought it was a great start. So let's now get into the show. Let's just call this the Nick and CJ show today. So today's the Nick and CJ show. We got some great topics. Actually, let me put them on the screen for you. These right here, we got possibly Bernie Sanders running again. We got CNN Plus will be officially closing its doors after a few
Didn't they just start?
Man,
that show without any sort of boost from cable companies or by a YouTube algorithm that no one want to watch these people.
No, but I'm happy that they at least now can see, like, it's been proven, like they can't pretend like they don't know now that nobody wants to watch them. So that's why I'm happy to hear it. But and then the final story is what is the final story? Oh, the final story is not in this order. We probably are going to start with this story first, and that's or maybe we need to get warmed up. The Amazon unions unionizing. Is this what people are calling a red-brown alliance? That is the major topic for today. Let me do a quick chat check. Nick, you got anything else on the horizon that you might want to talk about, Nick, other than those three items? Anything else?
I have a few quick funny stories that we're gonna get into. We got International Leftist Coalition today, so we're gonna be talking about a lot of depressing shit that's going on in Israel and Palestine. So I have a few stories that we can kind of laugh at and have some discussion, some valuable discussion as well. I think we can even lead with the red brown discussion, because that's okay. That's a good provoking discussion to have to start the stream out. Because I see less usage of it now. Because I was one of at least among Twitter, because that's like my social media of choice, right? I'm not on most platforms, but I'm on Twitter, and I saw this CIA op take hold on the left, because the role of intelligence agencies, one of the things they focus on is infiltrating the left and get them to say and believe stupid ass shit that make no sense whatsoever. And I didn't know what the Red Brown Alliance was. I didn't literally it wasn't something that was on my radar until Forced to Vote in our General Strike Summit, CJ. That's when I started aggressively coming out against it, because I saw people saying stuff like, "Oh, Nick, you're Red Brown Alliance because you got Jimmy Dore on your show." That's when it really ramped up. I went on Jimmy Dore, and that when the shit-lib progressives, a ton of them Red Brown Alliance, fucking a ton of black socialists that I thought was cool. Like, man, we can't be associated with the red brown characters, like these conservatives. Like, if you're working with conservatives, you're allowing racism to infiltrate our movement. And I'm like, These people are marching for healthcare with us, sir. When you talk, like, and I can tell, like, I'm like, what bad theory did they read? Like, who convinced them of that, right? But I'm pass to you, CJ. I got a lot more to add because we can dive more into detail on that.
Absolutely.
I wanna pass
Let
to
me
you.
bring up the poll that I posted because my thought process in picking sort of topics is just reading and thinking, watching things, and then I just started talking about this. I talked to Nick in the RBN chat, just, hey, isn't this Red Brown Alliance? Like, isn't that what the Amazon worker? Isn't that what this so-called everybody's fear of? Isn't that what that is? And he was like, yeah, I said this like when it first happened. And I was like, let's do an episode on it. So, but this Red Brown Alliance, let me show you the poll. So that's what I was getting to. Let me show you the poll. So we asked the question, Staten Island is a cop town and Trump country, yet Chris Small was able to build a coalition for a historic labor win. Would you call Amazon unionizing efforts in Staten Island a so-called red-brown alliance? And so here are the results. So leftists say no at a 60% rate versus yes saying 20% rate. Now, I don't know how I could have clarified this, but after asking a question and getting some responses, I realized people could have taken this two different ways.
Yeah.
Meaning to say, is there a such thing as a red-brown alliance? Or somebody could have taken it as, is this the thing that people are afraid of when they call something a red-brown alliance, the alliance of working class people? So I don't know how the person took the question when they answered it, but your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, so don't get it twisted. What happened at Amazon, this victory that they got, because Chris Small has openly said they wasn't asking people if they were Trump supporters. They wasn't asking people if they believe in QAnon or they were Russia Gators, or they was like, he didn't care. It's about, do you support me on this issue? And I had many debates with so many misguided people who was falling for the Red Brown Alliance psyop, and I'm gonna show you guys evidence of that. This is planted, right? These tactics are planted by the establishment because their only job is to mislead and lead the left off a cliff. So when they smear people as Red Brown Alliance, because I remember one time I made a tweet where I was like, I'm willing to work with anyone. I don't care if they disagree with me or not. Like, if you disagree with me, I don't care. I'm willing to work with you. I want to march with you. And then there was like a small subsegment of left Twitter that melted down at me. They was like, I can't believe you would say this, Nick. I can't believe you say you would work with Nazis. I'm like, for one, I didn't say that. Like, they start criticizing my. They was like, I can't believe you say you want to work with Nazis and red, brown, blue boys. I'm like, for one, I didn't say that.
They always take the worst thing when you bring this up. They always go, "Oh, so you want to work with Hitler?" Like, no, like Hitler wouldn't want to work with me. Like, go ahead, Nick. I get it.
So then, when I saw them smear the Marshall Medicare for All for this, and it was the same people I saw melt down at me. I'm like, wait, this is like a coordinated group. It's the same people. And I saw someone had a comment that said, Emma Vigeland. Let me show you guys this. I had to say it. I think this is a good time to bring this up because this is not we're not talking about this because there's fringe people that say this. Like, we critique the boutique left on this show, and we tell them how dangerous and how harmful they are to the movement because they purposely put up and convince people to follow bullshit. So you guys wonder why we drag the Mickey Cons on this show, right? Guess who's an advocate and pusher of the Red Brown Alliance conspiracy theory? This is what she said, and look at who she come in defense of. This is this week, within 7 days.
This is this week, Nick?
Yeah, look at the date, April 15th, 2022. So, guys, we're not talking about this for no reason. I know that I'm too plugged in at sometimes. I understand that. But because I'm part of discourse, right? So I see this shit. I'm like, bro, I cannot believe people fall for this. So then Mickey, she said, I can't keep track. Is the Red Brown Lions talking about censorship, NATO, or AOC today? Who's she talking about? She tweeted this out 6 days ago, around the time we start talking shit about her.
Wait, read that again. Let me.
Yeah, I'll pull it up again.
Or just tell me what the three things were. She said,
Here it is. Because remember, hopefully you guys got a decent memory. Rewind 6 days ago. right? Now think about the coverage of RBN at the time, right? I can't keep
Yes.
track. Is the Red Brown Lions talking about censorship, which we was. We talk about NATO. We always talk about NATO because we called them out as imperialists. Namiki is a supporter of NATO. So when people say, "Oh my God, you guys always starting this left infighting, left drama by calling out Namiki Khan," I'm like, "Sir, Namiki is by no means a leftist. If you're supporting the imperialist, capitalist NATO, you are not by any stretch of the imagination a leftist. So why are you guys saying leftist infighting? To me, that's just, when you make that video, CJ, that's the same as me calling out Jim Clyburn. That's the same as me calling out Nancy Pelosi. I think that's probably a better example, right?
Better example,
to me, that's the same thing, right? So you see how the coverage of us being critical of AOC, the left calling out NATO, and censorship. Now, when I think about the people who've been talking about this, I think of our show, I think of the Convo Couch, I think of Jimmy Dore, I think of Caleb Maupin. Like, so it's obvious who she's talking about here, right? And these same people I've noticed have been smeared, like I have as Red Brown Lions. I had Caleb Maupin on. A lot of people were like, "Oh my God, Red Brown Lions." I'm like, if you don't like it, kick rocks because you're a moron. If you can't see through this divisive rhetoric that coming from the capitalist class, and I actually have another story that backs that up when we talk about Elon Musk, right? This is their job, is to divide the workers by any means necessary.
This is what Dr. Anthony Montero was talking about when he had an interview. Remember the guy that had the interview with Margaret Kimberly and Danny Heinfung that we played, and he was like, he's like, you're trying to convince us that the black working class has more in common with capitalists than white workers. Then he was like, then what is black liberation then? But that's what Nomiki and people like her, she's a black capitalist, or that class of people who still believe in that, right? So we have more in common with them, these people who aren't working class, than people who are. It doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, Nate. JB's response.
I just thought JB's response, because I was scrolling through this. This is another look. This is Emma Vigeland, Majority Report. Emma Vigeland. Look at the people who are repeating this. They're all millionaires. And Sam Cedar repeats this. Voss repeats this. Hassan repeats the Red Brown Lions shit. You notice that all the people who repeat Red Brown Lions are rich white leftists? So wonder how rich white leftists benefit from dividing the workers. So this is Emma Vigeland. This is last year. So once again, I've been seeing this, right? And it wasn't hard to find this. I just so happened to see JB respond to it. Emma says there is no understanding of how it goes yet. I wish I could give you more context, but Anna Kasparian blocked me.
Maybe you can send me the link.
Yeah,
one of them have me blocked. I don't know which one. I don't know which one. Okay, one of them blocked me. We'll find out.
If you guys don't know, Emma Vigeland, sorry, not Emma, but Anna Kasparian, she blocked me because I called her out for giving a ton bath softball interview to Madeleine Albright. Remember the person we cover on the show who is now 6 feet deep, rest in piss, who's responsible for over 500,000 Iraqi kids dying. And then she said it was worth it. Anna Kasparian was like, you're a feminist icon. She said she was honored to meet her. Gave her an absolute ton bath softball interview. I called her out. I posted a picture. Like, I didn't even, it wasn't a Photoshop picture. I literally just posted a picture that she herself posted of her with Madeleine Albright.
And she got mad.
She loved the fact that she gave this interview to this war criminal. And then she blocked me for that. So that's a funny side story. You want to pull that up so we can see what Anna says?
Yeah, let me click on Anna's part here.
And then we can see, and then we can read JB's response if you can find it too. So there you go. That's context here.
Yeah, it's right below it. Yeah, it's right below it. It says, if we could just demonize and manically harass one member of Congress who happens to be our ally, like the right wing would, maybe we can revise centuries of capitalism, incentives, and exploitation, in the U.S. and secure Medicare for all. We just haven't been vicious enough. Duh.
They don't even vote as a block. They don't even vote.
What is she talking about? Let me just examine this part right here where she says. Where she says, if we could just stop demonizing and harassing one member of Congress who happens to be our ally, Who is she talking about?
Is she though? Is she though?
That's where I'm getting to. Like, if you're talking about AOC or the squad, what are you talking about? And then all we have to do, this is her suggestion, Nick. All we have to do is be nicer to them, and then all this shit is gonna be fixed here. That's what you're saying?
If we're nice to them, they'll vote as a block. Yo, if we're nice to them, they'll vote as a block. If we're nice to them, they wouldn't have abandoned the homeless activist who was on the Capitol steps that were fighting against the eviction moratorium. Remember how Cori Bush abandoned those people? Maybe she wouldn't have if those people would have been nicer to her. That's their theory, right?
It's so bizarre. But what it is, Nick, I mean, you've said this many times. The reason the old left or reformist leftists feel so a need to defend is because they feel like it's a personal attack. Just imagine if the person like Fred Hampton, we're saying we're aspiring to be Fred Hampton, and then somebody is saying Fred Hampton ain't a leftist, Fred Hampton is this. That is an attack on us. If we're saying this person is great, and a person who's to our left,
bro, let someone talk about Malcolm.
You get what I'm saying? So they're feeling like this is a personal attack on them. Go ahead.
Yes, CJ. Only thing I'm about to say, let someone talk some shit on Malcolm X. We be like, what?
Right.
So that's kind of how it is. That's the AOC is still their Malcolm X.
Exactly. So if we're you feel even if you're not directly being called out, you feel like you're being called out anytime somebody to your left is talking. Like if Rome is talking, he's to my left. Sometimes I'll be feeling like this nigga, like, because you know what I'm saying? Like, he's to my left. So it's the anger is because how dare you go to my left? How dare you be to my left? You get what I'm saying? So that's what I feel is sort of happening here. And then JB comes back with just fire.
Okay, so that's his response to Anna. And then he responded to Anna and Emma, man. That's why.
Let me go back to Emma.
That's why they don't fuck with us, man, because we rebuked them.
Here. Which one did you already read? This one or the one?
No, I didn't read it yet. I just pulled it up and then I tossed it to you so we can see Anna's, so we can get context.
Okay.
So when I read Anna's tweet, I actually haven't read his tweet in I don't know how long because I've been blocked from her for over a year now. So when I see that like Emma goes into Red Brown Alliance, that shit doesn't even make sense based on what Anna is talking about here. Do you guys see this?
Let me read what Anna says again, or Emma says. She says there's no understanding of how goals are achieved. She's talking to us historically because these folks are being misled by Red Brown Alliance media figures. They're talking about us.
Red Brown, like there it is again.
Or types like us, not specifically us. And then sapping them of energy and cash. Progress isn't linear. A long-term goal without short-term strategy is just moral posturing. Read a book. I'm gonna say fucker. I can say it. She's a fucker. Okay, so this fucker right here, read a book, right?
You see
how about hit the streets? We can say the same thing. You read too many books, hit the streets.
You see how condescending this is? And you want to know what's funny? I put this right back up, CJ. I want to show you guys something here real quick.
Absolutely.
They think their strategy was leads to victory. Do you think Chris Smalls is listening to Emma Vigeland?
Absolutely not.
And then she was like, Red Brown Lions media figures is misleading the left and they don't know how to win. The people who had our strategy, we are the ones that helped these people win. They used our strategy of uniting the workers. They didn't go by your strategy. They didn't trust the squad and allow the squad to deliver them a victory. Now I'm gonna show you guys something. Cause now I guess I'll pat myself on the back here. Because I was on Chris Small's show. He had a podcast that ran for a little bit. It was like over a year ago. And if you look at this is when Chris Small was trending. So look who they pull up when Chris Small.
I remember the blow up on Twitter about that.
CJ, I know you don't be on Twitter like that, but this was glorious. Because look at this tweet. This person was like, no, he's listening to these people. Yes, motherfucker, why you think he's victory? So this is my response.
Right, you don't see Emma. You don't see no Minky. You don't see Crystal Ball, right? Do you?
I gotta find that episode, man. I have a hard time finding this podcast. I think he took it down, but I was on the show, man. We had a great conversation, man. We really vibe well. And this is my response. I'm glad, like, I ratioed the shit out of him because I was like, yeah, Chris Smalls had me on the show. We've been friends for a while. Stay mad, bro. And these people think that Chris Smalls got their victory. Listen to the boutique left. No, Chris Smalls has been a friend of the working class activist left that you guys has been smearing for over a year. I knew this guy. He's been around all the people that you guys hate.
But their grift is becoming clear. It's coming more and more focused. Their grift is to keep the Democrats relevant so that they stay relevant. So think about that. They're in it to stay relevant, even though the strategy is leaving back millions of people. Millions of people have been left behind by their strategy. Just think about this, Nick, though. Think about why the left, when you think about the reasons why the left in America is so weak, think about this. The American left, usually the left are working class. The majority is usually working class, wherever the left is in that population, right? In America, we have the left being led by people who aren't even in the same class. Think about that. All of the left media, all of the white left media is not in the same class of the people they're preaching or their audience. And you're taking advice from these people?
And they hate
makes no sense.
And they hate the people they claim they fight for. Because I remember during the March for Medicare for All, people was actually making excuses for Nina Turner, Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the squad not showing up and abandoning our movement because they was like, yeah, they don't want to be seen with you. They're like, you guys are deplorables. Of course, they don't want to be seen with you. I'm like, okay, we are the people that you guys say you're fighting for. So if you don't want to be seen with us, you are showing your entire ass. You rather be seen at the Met Gala, but you don't want to be seen marching for healthcare with people. They thought it was like, oh, it would make the Nina Turner campaign look bad. And they were seen at a march that also had a speaker that had Jimmy Dore speaking, right? Because Jimmy Dore gave a speech at one of the marches. You had a combo. You had a lot of people that were like enemies of the Ryan Knight. A lot of people who are enemies of the Democratic establishment was speaking. We gave a speech. My speech is on YouTube. I don't know if you guys checked it out. I gave a speech at the KC Medicare for All. I gave a 15-minute speech where I completely came up with it on top of my head. So I was very proud of that. So they didn't want to be associated with a march that had enemies of the Democratic Party. That is just another betrayal and a sign of classism, right? Now I want to introduce this other point because I see comments getting ahead of me. Now, I wanted to make this point because this has been beyond hilarious, right? The same people that was calling me, RBN, Jimmy Dore, Caleb Maupin, all these people, Red Brown Alliance, these are the same people who are now supporting the Nazi Azov Battalion in Ukraine.
Oh my God.
So, guys, do you understand?
That's irony right there, Nick. That is irony right there.
This is they called us. Now, think about the concept of a Red Brown Alliance is that you have socialists that are locking arms with Nazis for the quote unquote greater good, right? And then there's so many of these, and I'm gonna give you guys an example of how this was planted here very soon. But you have all these theorists that plant this to divide the workers. Like, this is why it's bad to work with Nazis no matter what. The same people that was saying that when we was organizing a general strike summit, they were like, you can't work with right wingers doing that. When we were organizing March for Healthcare, you can't do that. But they are quick to apologize for and whitewash the Nazi Azov Battalion to the point where they don't even call them Nazis. They call them ultra right. That's what they do.
You hear that, nigga? It's just lame bullshit, man.
The funny thing is the Azov Battalion in Ukraine, like, no, we're not ultra right, we're Nazis. Like they're not ashamed of it. That's who they are, bro. We're not gonna be ashamed to call ourselves anti-capitalist, right? So they're like, no, we actually are. Yeah, we believe in one nation, one people. That's why I had a friend, and that's why I stopped calling neo-Nazis. One of my friends, he gave me a very positive critique to one of our videos when he was like, you guys really need to stop calling them neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazi is an off branch of Nazism. Nazis believe in one state, one people, and to get there by any means necessary. That is quite literally what the Azov Battalion believes. So you literally gotta call them Nazis. That
they're not neo-Nazis.
Yeah,
they're
not neo.
Nazis.
Yeah, and I would love to dive more into like the academic breakdown between the differences between the two. But my friend was explaining to me once again. I get educated by my community, right? My friend was telling me like, bro, they believe in the shit that Hitler believed. They literally worship. What's the fucking literature? Oh damn, I feel like one of the Nazi literatures that they're Stefan
like a famous.
Yes, that I apologize. I'm blanking on name, but Stephen Banderas, the lead Nazi, he was a big. I hope someone in the chat can help me out. Anyway, I forgot, but there was like big advocates of the ideology that Hitler is actually using, right? So, yeah, I see that was still on the same comment. Yeah, I see what you mean, Nick. They really are. Yeah, it's so even calling them neo-Nazis is actually doing them a little bit of a favor, right? So
that's doing them a favor. That's watering it down. Now, this part I have it queued up to the specific section where they're talking about a red-brown alliance, talking about Staten Island. So let's just listen to the question that Jimmy, I think he asked, and then Chris will answer.
So, so a lot of so that your JFK 8, this the fulfillment center you organized is in Staten Island, like you said. So there's
commercial.
Going to be a lot of Trumpers who work there, and so they're now in your union. And you caught a lot of flack because you went on Tucker Carlson and to help spread your message. Workers come in all stripes, and you representing a class of people. You're not representing political ideologies. You're representing a class of people. So you went on Tucker Carlson, and you did it. You did a really great job. I think you did a great job. And everybody has their own agenda. Your agenda was to get your message out, and I think you did. And so let me just play. It's very brief. It's only about 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. So I'm going to play it. And then I just want so people have a context of what we're talking about. So let me just play it.
I'm gonna fast forward. We've all seen the Tucker clip a million times. Let me just fast forward to where I think Chris actually talks about it. Where is he?
Let me just say this about let me just say this about the Tucker clip. Because man, I don't understand why people give Tucker Carlson so much like benefit of the doubt. I've been watching a lot of Tucker Carlson recently because I told you guys I've been doing this thing where I've been watching more corporate news so I can do a better job at debunking what they're saying. I can't debunk what I don't know what they're saying, right?
Right.
In journalists, I've been doing that more often, and I've been watching a lot of Tucker Carlson. I'm like, bro, I don't get it. He's so unimpressive to me. Even when he covers an issue, right? He purposely would mislead people about the solution. But anyway, that's a little. I have a clip that I want to show you guys where he takes the concept of class consciousness and worker solidarity, and then he spins it into a culture war that is meant to divide the workers. And it's like, man, Tucker Carlson. I've been watching a lot of clips, and I'll probably still watch a few more so I can continue to dissect this guy. But he is one of the most obvious piece of shit charlatans there is, because he was like, yeah, I believe in working class consciousness, but then he would like give a tongue back to the Republican Party, right? So in that interview, he was calling out AOC. He was like, yeah, AOC not supporting the workers. Like, motherfucker, the party you support don't support the workers. What the hell? And he was like, I'm not a union guy. He was like, I'm not really necessarily a union guy. Like, why are you criticizing AOC if you're not even a union guy? Like, these people not even pro-worker.
Right.
Anyway, sorry. That's my only.
He just wanted to shit on AOC. That was Tucker's aim, but that wasn't Chris' aim. Chris' aim was to reach millions of people, which he did. What do you think about a blue-brown alliance?
Oh,
shouldn't we be mad about a blue? Go ahead.
Sorry, CJ, but I talk about this with my friend Misty. You guys know Misty, friend of the show, Comrade Misty. She was the first person I ever seen use this term, and I've loved it ever since. You guys remember how Bill Kristol and Ro Khanna had their bromance, and Ro Khanna was like, yeah, I disagree with Bill Kristol on a little bit, but he's my friend. Guys, that is the Blue-Brown Alliance.
Right.
Bill Kristol is a fucking fascist, war criminal, piece of shit. Among one of the worst humans. Like he was like one of the foreign policy advisors under George Bush, right? He did something under George Bush. I don't remember. I don't remember his exact job. I know he was working under George Bush. I don't remember his exact job though. But they will rub elbows with Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, Bill Kristol, these people that are responsible for millions and millions of deaths, right? And then they be like, "Oh, you can't talk to a worker because he got bad social issues, bad stance on social issues." Like, sir, you're friends with someone who is killing millions of people. You killed Joe Biden killed millions of people. He's starving millions of people in Afghanistan, and that's your friend. That's the Blue-Brown Alliance. That's the biggest threat to Black and brown people right now.
But then if you say anything about that, well, Trump, are you trying to end democracy in 3 minutes? Like what? That's the exaggeration. But let's listen to Chris. I think he. Hang on a second here. I just let's play the Tucker clip. Let's just play the Tucker clip so I'm not cutting into what they're saying.
Carlson, and to help spread your message, workers come in all stripes, and you representing a class of people. You're not representing political ideologies. You're representing a class of people. So you went on Tucker Carlson, and you did it. You did a really great job. I think you did a great job. And everybody has their own agenda. Your agenda was to get your message out, and I think you did. And so let me just play. It's very brief. It's only about 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. So I'm going to play it, and then I just want so people have a context of what we're talking about. So let me just play it.
So were you surprised that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who has said repeatedly that she's on the side of the worker against the corporation, wasn't standing with you at the barricades?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just her. It was all of them pretty much. It's not
fair.
I don't want to make it just between us and AOC because a lot of them didn't show up. And once again, we have no ill will against them. We know that whether they showed up or not, they didn't make or break our election. We just had to continue to organize.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird moment because I'm on the right. I've never been particularly pro-union, but it does seem like Amazon needs some counterbalance. Like it's this huge.
This is the grift of Tucker pretending to be for unions. He's not at all.
He says Amazon need a counterbalance. Motherfucker, all workers need a counterbalance. You're either pro-worker or you're not. You see this thing that Tucker keep one foot in, one foot out.
Right, because he knows his audience. He knows his audience. All these propagandists know what their audience wants to hear, so they throw them a little bit of that.
I don't know why people give him credit because to me it's obvious what Tucker is doing. People criticize progressives like AOC. We criticize progressives. We criticize Bernie Sanders, Ilhan Omar because we say they will talk about the right issues, but then they will use that issue to funnel people into the violent, corrupt Democratic Party. Now, I am asking for the people who like Tucker but hate AOC, what is the difference between what AOC does and what Tucker Carlson does? Tucker Carlson will talk about a good issue, but then he'll funnel people to the Republican Party. That is quite literally the same thing that AOC does.
Exactly.
So I'm being consistent, right? So I see him do this clown shit, and I'm not saying this as someone who don't watch him. And there are a lot of liberals who have a lot of bad criticism of Tucker that make that people use to defend Tucker, but I've been watching him a lot recently. I'm like, man, this dude's trash, bro. But anyway, we can. One more thing. I want to say, Jimmy was on Tucker Carlson's show. He was on the news show, the Fox News show as well. But Tucker does a show, Tucker Carlson Today, and he had Jimmy on. It was like an hour conversation. I suggest you guys watch that. It was very interesting because there was a point where Jimmy and Tucker had a mini debate. There are a lot of people who attack Jimmy when they say, "Oh, Jimmy, he's friends with Tucker Carlson, but he never challenges Tucker." You can tell these people never watch his content because he was on Tucker's show and he literally challenges Tucker Carlson and dismantles him on economics. You see how the same way Tucker Carlson backs down as soon as Chris Moss challenges him? When he was like, "It's not just AOC," and Tucker like, "Oh yeah, you're right. This dude is intellectually frail in the same way that like Jon Stewart destroyed him. Jimmy Dore was trying to be very nice to him, and he dismantled all his arguments. And yeah, I tweeted about it. I even got it timestamped. Maybe I can find the interview they did. But anyway, it was a good. Check that out though. When he was on Tucker Carlson Tonight, because they were talking about economics. I'm trying to remember exactly the framing of the discussion, but Jimmy was pretty much giving a left response So I gotta find the clip, but he did a good job debunking Tucker Carlson trickle down economic bullshit, and he pretty much left Tucker Carlson speechless. Like he literally couldn't really respond to anything he was saying. So yeah. Anyway, CJ, what you got put up here?
I just wanted to get, because the people I wanted to, like you brought up Nominky and Emma, so I wanted to get a video of them talking about Red Brown Alliance, and I believe this is the one. There's a section. So just keep in mind, these are millionaires talking about a so-called Red Brown Alliance. The title of the video is "Ex-MR Fan Has Opinion About the Show, Jimmy Dore Vouch, and the Red Brown Alliance." Let's see if the caller in the beginning talks about it.
Just a quick kind of comment I want to make. I have previously been subscribed to your show, but since my politics continue to go further left, I don't have the patience to be a regular listener, but I occasionally do check in for interviews with the likes of Mr. Roseman, who you just had.
Did you hear what he said?
Rewind that a little bit.
Let me paraphrase it. The caller says, "I used to be a regular subscriber, but my politics have gone farther left. So I don't have the patience now to be a regular."
Dude,
they actually didn't clip that out.
Dude, TYT and majority report audience are literally just liberals now. Like the real anti-capitalists, the real people who working class people that were inspired by the Bernie movement, they're not watching that shit. They've been moved on. Like the only people watching that are the people who still like cheer on AOC and the squad, right? But go ahead, CJ.
Wow, it was just shocking to hear him say that. So let me actually turn it up a little bit so everybody can hear. All right, let's try again.
Hey, Mr. Cedar. I have just a quick kind of comment I want to make. I have previously been subscribed to your show, but since my politics continue to go further left, I don't have the patience to be a regular listener, but I occasionally do check in for interviews with the likes of Mr. Roseman, who you just had, and the eviction video with Mr. Dayan. That was really informative.
Great.
I have also been a subscriber to the Jimmy Dore Show. I hope you don't bleep that out or edit that out.
I will edit out the.
I can't hear him, by the way.
Oh, you can't hear him?
It's a little low.
Oh, all right. We start over again. You used to you used to listen to the show on a regular basis, but you've moved to the left. But occasionally you check in for some of the interviews.
Right, and I also was a subscriber to Jimmy Dore Show. I stopped due to his limited analysis. I'll only check in for certain guests like Chris Hedges, who wrote American Fascists, The Christian Right, and the War on America, which is a must-read. I wouldn't be surprised if Trump eventually opens up his own mega church. But that aside, I'm still a subscriber to Left Reckoning and love their appearance on This Is Revolution podcast. That was great. Now, I'm not really interested in like wealthy old white man drama that you and Jimmy have, but I am interested in the influence. The interest of
this caller is dope. This caller is good.
That's funny.
This is why they don't do live shows that often now. Everybody understands. Like if they literally did live shows, Nick, can you imagine the callers that they don't like people that listen to us say, "Hey, I'm gonna go over there and call in to the majority"? Could you imagine? Just there's no way they could handle anything like that. Let me play some more of it.
It's the influence that you two have. Taking into this consideration, I find it completely repulsive that Dore will sit down with Tucker and won't call him out on his white supremacy. But I'm also uncomfortable with your financial relationship with corporate media. That inherently promotes the status quo, which is founded on.
Let me ask you this: what do you think my relationship is with corporate media? Just out of curiosity.
Pause.
You can't take no more.
No. I'm gonna just quickly say this.
Okay,
sir. Chuck Hayes. What's his name? Am I getting that right? Hayes. Fucking, I always get these people's name wrong.
Oh, Chris Hayes. You're talking about MSNBC, and then it's Chuck Todd.
Yeah, no, Chris Hayes. So he was like, "Sir, what is my relationship with corporate media?" So MSNBC get paid by Raytheon to push war. Okay, do we understand that? We will never be invited on. Do you understand that? Chris Hayes was on like a vacation, and I can show you the clip, and it's an embarrassing clip of Sam Cedar filling in for Chris Hayes. And what did Sam Cedar? He went on MSNBC, had this massive audience, right? What did he decide to cover? This motherfucker went on MSNBC and started pushing Russiagate. But he see how he tried to gaslight the caller because he's hoping the caller doesn't know that. He may. I haven't seen this clip before, so you may call him out on that. I just want to provide that content just in case the caller doesn't bring it up. I want you guys to know at that exact moment, Sam Cedar decided to gaslight the shit out of him and everyone in the audience because he was like, "What do you think our relationship is, corporate media?" CJ, do you know anyone that could get a call from MSNBC? They're like, "Yo, you know Chris Hayes is down for a week. Do you mind jumping on for the show?" How many people can do that? That's a unique relationship, sir.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead with the clip.
That's a great point. Great point. Let's listen.
Like I said, I do enjoy some of your segments.
No, I'm not. I don't want. I'm not putting you on the defensive. I'm just honestly curious as to what you think that is.
Well, the fact that you're on Peacock, I mean, they're not going to put somebody who's talking radically or challenging the, the status quo to any legitimate degree.
This fucking caller, like, is I can't believe
he went out for blood, man.
Yeah, like this caller is pointing out making some good points to them.
On Peacock, I think you're informative. I value what you put out, but it's not.
I will say this. I mean, I think. Yeah. I will say this. The argument that they have that you have is that they were aware of what my content was before they signed this deal, and B, that they actually pay attention to the content now. And I would suggest that I would say there's some truth. They certainly, I think, felt like they could trust me to go on there.
Is he trying to defend himself going on corporate media? Is that what he's trying to attempt to do right here? It sounds like he's trying to talk about him being on corporate media. I guess we can listen to a little bit.
He's also stalling for time because he's trying to figure out what to say.
Yeah, he does that a lot actually on the show.
That's obviously
he does that a lot on the show.
Yeah. So a lot of what he was saying,
I will say that
I'm like, all right, dude, get to it, motherfucker. He's doing it, but he's doing that because he's trying to figure out, like, all right, how do I get out of this shit? Because this motherfucker is on this out.
And Emma's trying to keep quiet and not making no facial expressions.
It is an argument that is sort of consistent with the one we just made about Nina Turner. That I think that they probably weren't quite aware of what kind of stuff that we put on this show. And that the fact that my presentation is such that it appears that I'm not doing.
What the fuck did he just say? It sounds like a word salad.
That shit sounds like word salad to me because he is saying, it seems like we can let him finish. But it seems like he's like, well,
I've had guests.
He was like, Peacock put me on the platform, but it's not like they put me on the platform because they knew I'm gonna be like this conservative. That seemed like the argument he's making. It seemed like he is because
they knew it when they signed the contract, sir.
Yeah, so the caller is calling
contract.
Yeah, the caller's calling Cedar out for being on Peacock. He pretty much saying the only reason you're on Peacock because they know you're not a threat to establishment. So Cedar is responding where he's like, "Well, you think Peacock really vetted me like that?"
Yeah,
yes. Exactly. That's exactly what we heard.
Yes, they're not gonna have anybody come on. Like, you know what I mean? No real leftist is slipping through the cracks, bro. No, yes. So yes, they do know.
Oh, cool.
We have every interview that you've ever tuned in for has played on that. All
right,
Vaush has, or that that Kyle Kalinske has.
All right, so he
talks a different, sort of, and it wasn't. I want to be clear on how I was using it then. I was using it to represent what someone had said at that time.
Exactly.
And so I'm not defending anybody's use of that word, and I wouldn't use it today, basically because, and I have to say that it's not a slam dunk for me. I think that like words must be taken in their context. But I also do appreciate the fact that it has certain connotations, particularly in today's day and age, that I wouldn't use it. But my arguments. But hold on. But wait. I don't want to get sidetracked by this. My argument, the old white man arguments, the rich guy arguments between Jimmy and I are not on specific issue sets.
Yes, they
are. I want to make this clear.
Pause. The issue that you guys had is strategy regarding forced to vote. You see how he's trying to pretend that The issue that you guys have is the disagreement that you guys have. That Jimmy said we should lead the Democratic Party. You said we should continue to support get more progressive inside. But you try to see how Sam seems like, no, not about the issues. Yes, it is about the issues. They're the same thing that people say when they're like, oh, you guys being mean to the Mickey Cons. It's about the issues. We would have no reason to be mean if they were just fight on the issues. It's just that
right.
Do you see us calling out the combo cows? We don't have to do that because they're not getting these issues
right.
wrong. It's just that simple.
Right. It's like are they basically saying we're saying Nikki Cox is the target. Now let's find an issue. That's not how it works. We find an issue and she happens to be the one who's espousing the nonsense. But let's continue.
And it's
so
always
we can
the
get
same
back.
people too. It just always so happens.
Always the same people.
I don't. There's things I disagree with a lot of people that I don't go after them about. The reason why I have a problem with Jimmy is I believe fundamentally, it's not a question of like he's got a bad take on this or a bad take on that. I don't even care. It is because his project
gives us clicks.
Fundamentally and broadly speaking is disempowering to the broad left.
That is the complete opposite. The complete opposite. Because his brand is similar to our brand of saying, do not join with your oppressor, the person that's oppressing you. Do not join with these people. So it's the exact opposite of what he's saying. Go ahead, Nick.
Look at his instincts, though. He saw his instincts. His first instinct is to blame the podcaster for depowering the left. Now, I'm asking you guys this. What do you guys think depowered the left more? The squad voting for Nancy Pelosi or Jimmy being mean to AOC? What do you think disempowered the left more? Ilhan Omar and Jamal Bowman voting for the Iron Dome or Jimmy Dore? I'm telling you, if the squad wasn't shit, even if Jimmy decided to go out the squad, because according to Sam Cedar, only reason we and Jimmy Dore got the squad because we want clicks, right? If the squad was killing the goddamn game, our argument wouldn't be convincing. Right. So his argument is instead of blaming the politician in power, it's not AOC's fault, it's not Bernie's fault, not Ilhan's fault for the votes and the fact that they were complicit with enabling a white supremacist Democratic Party. It's not their fault that the left is depowered. It's the people who speak out against the politicians. Isn't that interesting? His mindset.
Yeah, I mean, but I think he genuinely believes that our strategy is disempowering. I think that Jordan Sheridan kind of shares that belief too in some of the content I've covered from him. Also, they generally believe that because they can't see beyond the duopoly, really.
That's why, and that he's teaching people to be stupid. That's like his project. I'm not saying this.
He's teaching people to be stupid. It's such a. He is condescending because obviously if he's teaching people to be stupid, what he's saying is the people that listen to him are stupid, right? So it's more elitist language and context and
Cedar knows his audience,
right?
Cedar knows his audience. So when I remember when I watched the Jackson versus Cedar debate, it was the same thing. He knows his audience is filled with wealthy, snobby liberals. So all he has to do when people bring up legitimate points, he put a condescending smirk on, laugh, and talk down on people. And then it doesn't even matter what your argument is at that point. You will just win over the smug bourgeoisie class if you just sound smug, if you sound arrogant. And honestly, rich white dudes are able to get away with this. As long as you're confident, as long as you sound smug and you're talking down to the person that you're arguing against, that's enough to win them over. It's not about the quality of your argument. It's not about the logic. It's just all about the game. It's all about your presentation, which shows that Sam, you know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly who his audience is.
One issue or not two issues. Like, we may agree on virtually every issue.
I don't think that's the case, but that's the point is the overarching theme of what that project is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not taking apart specific takes. Like I've never seen a second of Vaush's show. I know him from Twitter. Like, I mean, so I'm not going to be able to remark on his take specifically, but I'm aware that his project is not that of Jimmy Dore's.
And broadly speaking,
so they think Vouch's project is better than Jimmy Dore's. When they're calling projects, they're just saying the way that they want to do things, their strategy. That's what they're saying, Nick. Is that where are you hearing the same thing? And when Emma talks,
man, it's just nauseating. The whole thing, like they already picked their side. They're just working backward from the conclusion. They will always be anti-Jimmy. They are here to protect the power structures of the Democratic Party and anyone who criticizes them, because their strategy is taking over the Democratic Party. Their strategy is having us falsely believe in AOC and Bernie Sanders. And if there's any deviation of that, they will smear you. They will attack you as Red Brown Alliance. I even like people like, oh, you're just a Jimmy stan. Like what? And then people say that when I criticize like LC and stuff. Like what? Like, bro, we can see with our eyes whether you like Jimmy or not, whether you're friends with Jimmy or not, had nothing to do whether you like the squad or not. And their goal is to create a tribal, to make it tribal, right? So it's like either on my side or you're on Jimmy's side, right? You're on AOC side or you're on Jimmy's side. I see a coordinated effort to do that, and that was Caesar does. And what he said earlier is a blatant lie where he was like, man, I don't even like really care about my disagreement with Jimmy. Well, I wouldn't say it's a lie, but he misleading what was really going on.
It's a lie.
The reason why he called out Jimmy is because of clicks, guys. It's literally for no other reason. You did this on your show before. You look at
I did. Videos, I called that out.
All his biggest videos are with him and Jimmy. And that's why I say it may not even be a lie, because maybe there's a part of him that really don't care about what Jimmy says. But he's like, oh, well, I have to do a Jimmy video, though, right? So I can see either way. I can see it both ways. I can see him really being salty and mad at Jimmy. And I also can see it in him being like, oh, well, I'm just a businessman. Jimmy give me clicks, I'll go that way. Maybe if someone else gave him clicks, maybe he'd be calling that person out. I don't know which one is true, but I can see it both ways, to be honest.
Absolutely. Let me just shout out, like the video, everybody. Like the video so everybody can see this in their.
And then we can go on to Bernie too.
Stream. Yeah, we're gonna go on to Bernie. Actually, I was just trying to look for the specific part where they're talking about the red blue.
Doubt
alliance.
about that. Now you may say, well, it's definitionally impossible.
Let me share this part before.
Go ahead.
Is this the part? I don't want to interrupt here. But before we actually
I was gonna take this out. Yeah, I was gonna take that out.
So before we drop the Red Brown Alliance segment, I want to show you guys something I found while I was preparing for the stream. It's something that I already knew. Cause you guys know when I do my show, I want to show you guys receipts. I don't want you guys just to believe what I'm saying, right? So I explained this concept before, and I'm gonna preface this part of the show with this. I learned through my process of thinking. This is why I started reading a lot of Marxist theory. I started asking myself, why did Black Panthers call themselves Marxist-Leninists? Why there's so many revolutionaries who are further to the left than Social Democrat or Democrat Socialists? And I actually shared this with you before, CJ, how there was like a coordinated effort to depower and water down the left in America. So they didn't want communists, because communists is literally what started the workers' movement in America in the first place. All those workers' rights that you got, that movement was kickstarted and empowered by American communists. So they decided, and this is leaked documents that you can find in the CIA. Caleb Maupin also reported on this as well, where they infiltrated unions, they infiltrated communist organizations, and they wanted to tell people like, yo, we can't be communists. That's tanky shit. We got to disavow Soviet ideas. We got to disavow Cuban ideas. We got to disavow ideas of revolutionaries. We got to do like Sweden. We got to have social democracy. We got to have democratic socialism. It was essentially a way, and I'm not even saying like these systems and these reforms, they are better than what we have right now, but they did this in order to have a more compatible, softer opposition. They didn't want the hardcore anti-capitalists at their opposition, right? So the reason I'm bringing this up because they still doing operations like these, and I found it was written by the Gray Zone. Let me pull up the date. I'm sharing it now. 1 second. So look at this. And remember I was asking you guys, like you see this term Red Brown Line just start popping up. It was, I swear to God, it was around the time where you have people marching for Medicare for all. You have people calling out the squad. You have people saying, I'm leaving the Democratic Party. You have workers holding hands together, forming coalitions. That's when you had apparently that's where Magnus first got discovered, because his faction of the Boogaloo Boys was providing security for Black Lives Matter events, right? So then that's when the establishment was like, okay, we gotta divide this shit, and then enter Alexander Reed Ross. And now, according to Ben Norton and Max Blumenthal, this was written last year, March 2021. Disgraced author of several retracted articles worked with ex-cops, CIA, and DSA agents. Now, why is he relevant, right? So let me down here. Though many of his hatchet jobs smearing anti-war leftists, so this is something they do all the time. If you're anti-war, they will smear you as Red Brown Lions, right? Magnus hosts the End the War rally. You had the Combo Cows down there as well. There were a lot of independent left media, like Comrade Misty, that joined their End the Wars rally. And then I remember there was a mass smearing campaign by the progressive establishment, calling the people out as Red Brown Lions, because their job is to smear any anti-war leftists as that, right? So he's talking about the Red Brown Lions. Now, this writer, Alexander Reed Ross, has earned widespread derision and retraction of his entire archive by one of his former publishers. So this writer already is like, this is what they're saying, don't have a good reputation, right? But this guy is literally who started introducing and putting this red-brown conspiracy theory into public consciousness. And now look at the date. He published this in and once again, the Southern Poverty Law Center, like, this is supposed to be like, oh, we are against the establishment. We will help you get information out against the establishment. You have all the, and this is what they pretty much summed up here in these few paragraphs here. You had this institutional progressive establishment that was like, we're gonna coin this term and we're gonna call it an intellectual term, right? The Red Brown theory. And they introduced that to a national audience in 2008. And around the same time I start seeing this shit popping up. And then they really escalate around time. Activists really start locking together, right? So I want you guys to know, when there are people that giving the left bad advice, bad idea, I immediately spy it out. And we got to push back against that shit. This whole Red Brown Lions conspiracy theory is only designed to attack activists. So I'm gonna pass it back.
Absolutely. Yeah, I queued it up. I found the spot where the caller actually talks about it. He asked the question here later, right here. So I have it queued up.
Please. So I feel that Bosch's context is inherently anti-left in the sense that he does this whole thing that, unfortunately, Ms. Vigeland has done the same thing. We're trying to associate this mythical red-brown alliance.
Did he say Emma? Did he just call her out too? I could.
Yeah, because she was a big pusher of this theory. She was a big.
He said the word Emma. I just want to make sure that's what he said. I know he said Vaush, and I think he said Emma does it too. Let me rewind it to make sure he says that.
So I feel that Bosch's context is inherently anti-left in the sense that he does this whole thing that, unfortunately, Ms. Vigeland has done the same thing. We're trying to associate this mythical red-brown alliance, right?
Mythical, that way it is.
And the issue that I have with that is the Reds were the reason why we're not all Browns, right? Like, what's going on here? There is no lines there, right? If you're further to the left and you're a communist anarchist, you're not going to associate with fascists, right?
Exactly.
So that is my main issue with Bosch, is that I feel that, and I've seen his work enough to determine that the way that he goes about his politics is anybody to the left of him is immediately labeled a Nazi, right? And to me, I will make the same argument that you're making towards.
Did you see Sam Cedar's face in response to that? As if, yeah, right.
Yeah, that's. I
just can't believe this.
CJ, I explained the concept on one of our shows before, right? Where I'm trying to remember the exact name of the theory, but the way that social democrats and the way that leftist imperialists, like, these are the people who like support Medicare for all, they support cancel student loan debt, but they are like weak on imperialism. The way they justify attacking people that are to their left, who are anti-capitalist, like Cenk Uygur, who is an open capitalist. He's a union buster, for example. The way he attacks people to the left, the only way they can defend their idea, they say, "Oh, you go so far left that you become a right winger." This is what they call the Fisher theory. I think that's what they called. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what they used. That's what they made up, right? Where, like, if you go so far left, you end up on the right. And that theory doesn't make sense if you have any sort of historical perspective, right? Like if you are a black
Horseshoe
Marxist,
theory.
yeah, horseshoe theory. I'm sorry, I get all these theories fucking twisted around. So horseshoe theory is the idea that if he goes too far left, you end up on the right, which this is pretty much created by liberals to smear leftists, to smear communists, because ahistorical. I'm challenging you guys. When have you seen? Once again, you gotta remember the Black Panthers was a Marxist-Leninist organization. All these fight for liberation. When you look at the global South, when you look at the Sandinistas, these are anti-capitalist institutions. Anti-capitalism is largely rooted from Black, brown, and colonized people. Right? That is what Kwame Ture was saying. I remember someone asking him about, like, yo, why are you following something that was written by Karl Marx? He was like, sir, read a book. Karl Marx didn't invent this shit. He just wrote it down. Colonized people have been living like this from day one. So I'm asking an historic example of Nazis joining hands with the socialist Black and brown people. Don't worry, I'll wait. It doesn't exist. They will never give you an example of this. I looked. I was like, all right, I'm going to see if this shit real. No examples. No examples of Nazis locking arms with Black people just to get their agenda in.
Right.
But
they respond that way. And I had it earlier because earlier when I was doing the watch a clip, and it was your clip of you when you were talking about Red Brown Alliance, and somebody was in there. Oh, so you want to? And it's like, do you understand the very people that you keep pointing out as why am I going to enter? Those people are not going to want to team up with me.
Yeah,
fascists are not going to want to team up with people who aren't fascists. Do you understand that? Like militant racist people aren't going to want to team up with us. So why are you keep projecting the alliance of working class people onto some sort of alliance between fascists and like that'll never happen? This is a made up thing. Go ahead, Nick.
You want to know what the greatest irony is? The Blue-Brown Alliance is guilty of the same thing that they say that the mythical Red-Brown Alliance does.
Projecting.
Because our argument as RBN, we are a Black network filled with Black and proud motherfuckers here, right? If you are a white person and you want my community to have health care, now Magnus is like the number one person they smear, because Magnus was the guy who went on Jimmy Dore's show. He was a Boogaloo boy, and they were like, oh, this is horrific. You can't form an alliance with this dude. And I looked at Magnus. We follow each other on Twitter. I'm like, I legitimately didn't see anything wrong with him. He was anti-war. He was for healthcare. He provides security at Black Lives Matter. And I say this, I'm sure he said probably some bad takes before. I'm sure of it. But my thing is, if you're a white ally, you want us to have healthcare. If you want to demolish the police industrial complex as we know it, the prison industrial complex, which Magnus does. So I'm like, bro, he against the prison industrial complex. He wants us to have healthcare, and he's willing to march with us to do it by providing security. And I'm like, what's the problem? This is what the best we can ask. This is all we can ask for, right? Meanwhile, compare that to what they do. So they demonize us with marching for people who want healthcare. Meanwhile, they march with and they support people who literally don't support Medicare for all. Like they will vote for Joe Biden, who don't support healthcare for my community. They will vote for Joe Biden, who supports the prison industrial complex. But that's okay. But it's wrong for me to work with a white person who wants healthcare and wants to destroy the prison industrial complex. It does not make sense at face value. And that's why they will never invite us on our show, because I will ask them about that hypocrisy. And they will have no answer. I promise you.
They will never invite us. They will never invite us on that to talk about that. Let's see what Sam says, because you see his reaction when he's calling out, making these claims, the caller. But look at Sam's face.
With Bosch is that I feel that, and I've seen his work enough to determine that the way that he goes about his politics is anybody to the left of him is immediately labeled a Nazi, right? And to me, I will make the same argument that you're making towards Dore that I do towards Bosch.
Well, then
also, I didn't even say that. No, but I mean, characterize my position. I said that that's something Dore is trying to promote and create. I don't think that's a viable thing that actually can exist, a Red-Brown alliance. That's my position.
Let me just let it play and I'll comment after.
Well, I don't think it's a thing that is though. That's
listen. We can debate that, but here's
the
what
guy and the caller. You hear what he said? Like she says, I'm saying Jimmy Dore is promoting that, and he's like, no. And the caller says, no, that's not a thing. Like he's telling her that's not a thing that exists. And she just kind of go, like this guy didn't fall for the propaganda. You know what I mean? Like
this caller is flawlessly dismantling them, and he's doing it, and I think it's a pretty respectful way because he even said, "I think you do good work." To me, I'm like, man, none of those qualifiers are necessary. Like, I wouldn't use none of those qualifiers, but he's being nice, he's being kind, and he's trying to have a productive conversation, but he can't help but to dismantle these deeply unserious clowns.
Alliance. That's my position.
Well, I don't think it's a thing that is though.
Listen, we can debate that, but here's what my suggestion would be if you have that issue with Vouch.
You're struggling doing that. We can debate that. No, you can't. You're struggling.
I want everybody to focus on Emma and how she gets an uneasy. Because what I'm about like reading people, and she gives a tell. She does the uncomfortable laugh, but then at the end of that smile, you see how she really feels. It comes out for a second, and then she tries to cover it up again. Watch this.
It's a thing that is, though.
Listen, we can debate that, but here's what my suggestion would be if you have that issue with Vouch.
Right there.
Is on your show, you should make that case.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm not. Oh, come on. I've got to be honest with you. Listen.
What?
That's weak as fuck,
bro. That is an argument.
Weak as fuck.
I'm telling you guys, I'll pass right back to you, CJ. But that's an argument of a defeated man.
Yes.
That's an argument. We are lucky enough to have a platform. Not everyone will have a platform. That's not. Remember how we talk about everyone has a role in this movement? Just because you don't have a platform does not mean your point is not valid and you do not have to address it. Sam Cedar is essentially pulling privilege and pulling his clout against the guy who nailed him to the wall. He's like, yeah, you got a good point. But why don't you make it on your show? Like,
because it'll be different. It'll be different if he not different, but if he came back with points. Well, this is why it's Red Ball Alliance. Point. Then you can be, and then if the guy came back and didn't want to, and then I'll be, oh yeah, why don't you do that on your show? But he's just saying, I'm listening to you. We can debate that later. Do it on your show. Are you going to address? Are you going to address this?
He was like, I can debate. He said, we can debate all you want. I bet you can. I bet the reason why he says that, because he literally asking you to debate. The caller is challenging you in a nice way to debate. And then Cedar like, yeah, we could debate, but you can have your own show too. Like what? That is not a response. In what universe is that response to anything the caller said? It's not.
It is not. And both of their responses tells you that about the Red Brown Alliance. That's such a shaky concept.
I'm watching people. Listen. I'm watching people who identify. Now, you could argue that it's impossible for there to be a left-brown alliance, and that may be the case. But self-identified lefties who go.
So I didn't want to endorse. Like, is it or is it not?
I mean, he's
wishy-washy.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. He's trying to play He's trying to play the both sides right now. That's just what I was about to say.
On Twitter, on social media, they are making common cause with fascistic people. There's just simply no doubt about that. Now,
he's saying they're making common cause with fascistic people.
What's the cause?
Are you talking about you teaming up with Joe Biden and the fascism that they're doing? Because isn't that exactly what the reformist leftists are doing? Aren't you teaming up with fascists? Isn't Nina Turner going over to the Democratic Party? If we had another party that more represented Nina Turner, do you think she would run as a Democrat? Like this is like,
how do people not see through this? Because do you guys think Sam Cedar is being vague there for no reason? He said that you guys are finding common cause with fascists. Okay, Sam, what is the cause? You finding common cause on them supporting Medicare for All. Oh, you think Medicare for All is supported by fascists, Sam? You find a common cause in ending the war. You think ending the war is supported by fascists, Sam? You found a common cause in getting unionization. Do you think unionization efforts are being led by fascists? Like, these are things I would ask him as a follow-up question.
Right.
And he will have nothing for it. I told you guys, they will never
want to debate that.
Because I can see, like, he knows he don't have the intellect to challenge him. So he's using every single swarmy trick that he knows. Being vague, fucking go roundly. Like, I say he going off top because he bringing up shit that has nothing to do with what the caller is saying. He's obfuscating. He's literally doing every single bad faith like debate tactic. And I see Voss do the same thing.
Because I think he knew how the caller came into the call and broke things down. I think he knows this caller knows way more than me, so I need to take control of this and make sure this don't run off the rails farther than what it has already done. But let's move on from Sam. I think we got our answer about that. So the Red Brown Alliance is not a thing. Workers teaming up together, regardless of political beliefs, is proletariats coming together. It's what Marxist writes about. That's what we're talking about. And that's, I mean, it's just, it is against what a fascist, what an imperialist would believe to team up with leftists. Like it would never happen. What they want aren't the same things we want. Fascists don't want leftist policy. You get what I'm saying? Like imperialists don't want less war. So if somebody is that, they're not teaming up with us. It's not just us who decides who we team up. The other person has to be willing to team up with us.
Everything they say is a projection. And it's almost hilarious how much that is true. Their concept of a red-brown alliance and their fear. I looked into what they say. They say if you work with these far right people, they would drag you to the right. As if that would happen. As if, oh, we form a coalition working together on healthcare. Now I'm against trans rights all of a sudden. Someone explain to me how that works. But now look at what they do. Now, this is why I say it's a projection, right? They say us form coalitions will drag us to the right. But they form a coalition with the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party does what? It drives them to the right.
To the right.
Sam Cedar says he doesn't care if police get funding more. Now, why do you think he has that position? Because that's the position the Democratic Party wants him to have. So the same thing they said will happen to us, that we'll be accidentally dragged by the right with these people that we're working with, it's happening to them. The squad would drag to the right. We saw LC go from like this revolutionary cosplayer, and now she's like a Nancy Pelosi Democrat. Like, we've seen them shift to the right.
Right.
So that's the last point I made. When you see the projection, the Red-Brown Alliance conspiracy theory is quite literally really the Blue-Brown Alliance. Everything they say the Red-Brown is actually the Blue-Brown. The Red-Brown doesn't exist. The Blue-Brown is really the threat, but they don't never talk about that. But that last thing I say on this, CJ, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, I think we can move on to the Bernie Sanders story. I saw you tweet about it. You want to bring your tweet up, or did you have something you wanted to bring up about this?
Let's see.
So Bernie Sanders, I got a couple of articles too.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a couple of articles ready to go. And well, actually, let me play. Let me share my screen here. Oops, it's the wrong key here. Here. So let me just type in the name. I forget who I saw it on Bernie's. Oh, it might have been a Hill. That was reporting on it. But we can look at any, let's look at this one. We can look at any corporate news outlet just to set the baseline.
We can just play for like a minute.
Yeah, just to set the baseline for what we are all talking about, and then we'll get into it. Oh, I gotta mute it and let it play. I'm trying to.
So essentially, I'm gonna explain to you guys. Anyway, let the video play. I'll get into it. I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay, so let's play the video.
It seems Bernie Sanders thinks third time could be a charm. A top political advisor to the Vermont senator wrote in a memo to supporters that he isn't ruling out a presidential run in 2024 if President Biden decides not to seek re-election. The memo, first obtained by the Washington Post, reads in part, in the event of an open 2024 Democratic presidential primary, Senator Sanders has not ruled out another run for president, so we advise that you answer any questions about 2024 with that in mind. Caitlin Huey Burns is in Washington with more on this. Caitlin, thanks for joining us. Tell us, what else did this memo say, and what's the significance of this?
Hey, Nikki, I know it's only 2022, but 2024 is not too far away. When you're looking at kind of the bigger political landscape, this is a time when politicians are using their political capital.
I don't need to hear all. I don't need to hear all that. You get the gist.
Yeah, we get the gist of it now, right? So
yeah, I thought she was going to tell more details about the statement, but she's giving her corporate spiel. So Bernie Sanders puts out this memo, or his team puts out this memo to basically be prepared that Bernie Sanders could run or will run if Joe Biden doesn't run. That's basically it. But Joe Biden has already announced it. Do you have your tweet ready to go, or were you going to show your tweet?
So I don't have my tweet up, but I pretty much sum up what I was saying. I saw a lot of dialogue on the story, and I'm like, you guys are a lot of you motherfuckers are being clickbaited. Because what did she lead with in that story? She said Bernie is thinking about running if Biden decides not to run for re-election. Now, Biden just said he's running for re-election. I already predict that he's not going to step down. I don't know why people think he's going to step down. If he does step down, it will be something last minute. Now, there are a lot of people, and in my tweet, I'll calm people out like, you guys need to wake the fuck up and stop living in this fairy tale land. So let's say Joe Biden is not the candidate. Do you think they're going to have a primary to primary the Biden-Harris administration? If they were going to replace Biden, they are going to wait till after the primary, and they're going to say his health is going to fade, and then they're going to install Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg. Take that to the bank. I promise you, clip this, wait for 2 years, and this is going to be one thing like, oh my God.
Because they don't want us choosing. They want to be able to choose themselves. Yeah.
Bernie supporters, after 2 fucking elections, still think the Democratic Party is going to let them win. Are you guys?
It's so bizarre. Yes, yes. Like, did you see 2016 and 2021? Did you see Barack Obama come out at the last second, Hail Mary? Like, it's just bizarre that they think that. And then the other thing, Nick, what about the other side? Did we see what Bernie did when he lost the last time? How he just walked away from the movement? That happened too. But let's listen to Emma. Emma, let's just listen before I say anything.
Senator Bernie Sanders' office indicates that he has not ruled out running for president in 2024, but there is a caveat. So what did the memo say? In the event of an open 2024 Democratic presidential primary, Senator Sanders has not ruled out another run for president. So we advise that you answer any questions about 2024 with that in mind, says the memo from Faz Shakir, a close Sanders advisor who was his campaign manager when he ran in 2020. It seems pretty clear that Senator Sanders is not looking to run if Biden is seeking re-election. And so far, based on what we shared with you recently on the show, it does look like Biden is planning to run for re-election.
Well, he's saying he will run.
He's saying that.
Statements that are made about whether you will run or that.
I just got a quick question. This guy, this is the one I least know about on TYT. And this is the one I least see in scuffles and fights. Why is that? Do you know much about this person?
What
is his name?
He's low key. But whenever I see his opinions, always some shit lib stuff, right? He's like so insignificant, so boring. He's like got the most standard white.
He's like the Chuck Todd of TYT.
You don't hear about him because he's the last dude that's gonna do like a Jimmy Dore call up video. As far as I know you never see him on Twitter starting drama. He shows it to work. He reads the teleprompter. He's gonna give you the bourgeoisie Cenk Uygur approved take on the news. That's what he does.
Unfortunate, but all right. Let's
see what his take is. I was about to roast him because it seems like he's falling for it. It seems like it, but let's see. I want to see his argument. Let's see.
You're not going to run mean nothing. I mean, almost anything said in politics means nothing, but that especially means nothing.
True, but okay. So we don't know what's really going to happen. Bernie is very complimentary toward Biden. So I do believe that he means what he's saying.
You see how they are trying to be as nice as possible. Because what Anna just said, and I actually can't believe she said that. She just said the same thing we said. What she said is the ninth version of this, right? Bernie Sanders is a Biden bro. She just said the ninth version. She's very.
That's what she
Bernie
said.
Sanders is very complimentary of Biden. That's a nice way of saying he's a Biden bro sellout. I'm sorry, we don't have the temperament of these people. They rather be nice. I'm telling you what it is. But you can continue the clip.
He's saying here, or what this memo is saying, I don't think that he would run in a primary against Biden.
I tend to agree.
Yeah. But let's just say, for the sake of this discussion,
here's the one. I think he's gonna run against Kamala. Like if Biden steps down and it's Kamala, y'all really think he's gonna run against Kamala?
No.
I'm just asking.
He ends up running.
The thing is, Nick, if Bernie Sanders was an actual leftist, was an actual revolutionary, he would run against Biden regardless. Like he would run run against Biden. Like if we had Kashama, is her name the rep?
Sawant?
Yeah, Kashama Sawant. If she was in Bernie's position, she would run. She wouldn't give a fuck what the Democrats had to say about her running again. She would just run again because she's a real one. Let's play a little more of the video before we cut this. Oops.
80 years old now. He would be 82 in 2024. Is this a good idea?
I mean, look, obviously, we went through the experience of 2016 and 2020. Great deal of baked-in affection. Gotta say, though, maybe this makes me be the bad guy. Kind of think maybe it's time for new blood. Pete Buttigieg is really the wave of the future.
I will vomit in your mouth right now.
What did he say? Wait. Oh, wait.
Maybe he was being funny. I think he was kind of being funny. I think he was kind of being funny.
Play that whole part.
I think he was kind of being. Let me just rewind it so you can hear the whole thing.
Pete Buttigieg is really the wave of the future, and I just think that having that perspective. I'm joking, obviously. No, look, if he runs, obviously I'm going to support him. Yeah. We agree with him on most issues, a lot of issues. I have concerns, and if I were to like really focus down and like weigh the pros and cons and everything, is it possible that there are other candidates that I would place before him? Potentially, yeah. I mean, and that's not to take away anything of what he's contributed over the last decade to the progressive movement,
ask him who.
Or even the likely.
I would literally ask him who, but you can continue, keep playing it real quick. I want to get his whole arguments, and then I'm gonna tell you guys what he's not saying, and the difference
that the people I might rank before him wouldn't be here were it not for him. And if he's the candidate, yeah, let's do this again. But what do you think?
I'm gonna be honest with the audience. I don't know how I feel about it yet, and that's not to say that I don't support Bernie Sanders. Obviously, I do. He has the right policy agenda.
Why they being fake, bro? If Bernie announces run, they are 100%.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know, man. We may look
because they know we call them Bernie stands. They know we call them Bernie stands. They know people call it, so they have to pretend like they're not jumping for joy in their head. You know what I mean?
How do people fall for this? To me, when I see this shit, it's clear to me they're acting. Like it seems. They're doing an act here. Like we know for a fucking fact they're gonna support Bernie. Like why they act like it's up in the air? But sorry, go ahead.
No, that was yeah. Let me let it play a little bit more of it, and we'll stop it in a second.
Agenda. He has fought for the right things for the entirety of his career. I think that I really do wish that he was younger, and more importantly, that we did have a larger pool of true progressives to pick from, to support.
I think we have a good pool.
Yeah, look, I don't know.
Who? He want to say Jamal Bowman. Watch him say.
Okay, Leah, let me let it play before I make my comments. Let me let it.
These motherfuckers are funny, man.
We do. So look, I think that there are some good progressives in Congress, but we also definitely not Buttigieg. But Buttigieg is a joke. So let's move on from that immediately. No, but I have one person in mind that I actually think would stand a decent chance
against. Who?
Against even a Republican.
You mean were they to be the nominee?
Were they to be a nominee, right?
Throw them at us.
I think Katie Porter would be a decent option. And the reason why I say that is
Are you serious?
These are the leaders of the left. These are the leaders. These are the people who have been the leading voices that people who have leftist politics listen to. These people. And then we wonder why the left literally can't get a ham sandwich from the government. We don't have the organization to demand a ham sandwich. Do we wonder why? We have a upper class that's leading masses of lower class, working class people, and we're wondering why the working class people are where they're at.
Katie Porter.
Katie Porter, man.
So Nina Turner can't do it. Bernie Sanders can't do it, but it's gonna be Katie Porter. She literally.
Look, this person says Katie Porter is pretty much Howie Hawkins here.
Man, I heard some fucked up things about Katie Porter. I can't remember off the top of my head because she's so insignificant. She's so irrelevant. But she is not like this progressive fire that they're portraying. Like, she's just a standard Democrat on foreign policy as well. Like, she's nothing special. She's like the typical Elizabeth Warren style Democrat. Why do people think she would have a pill that somehow Bernie didn't have? Like so. Do y'all think do Anna think Katie Porter is gonna like be pulling a ton of black voters in? Like, do you think Katie Porter is gonna be pulling in all these Democrats?
Yeah. Black people are really clamoring to vote for Katie Porter. Like,
Katie Porter will get cooked, man. Jesus.
Yeah, Katie Porter is in a district that she's in Orange County, and Orange County is just it's majority
on her, white. She's so insignificant. I'm forgetting my Oppo research I had on her. There's a reason why I don't like Katie. I'm like, she did something fucked up.
And you want her to jump to running as president. Like, she wants her to just jump to that. Let's see what else Anna says here.
That is because she has managed to fight for the same policies that we want without being as divisive as some of the other progressive lawmakers have been. And by the way,
what lawmakers have been divisive? Like, literally, what progressive lawmakers have been divisive? Because us on the left have been complaining that they're not divisive. Is calling Pelosi Mama Bear, is that divisive? I just don't see where that divisiveness.
By the way, whether it's fair or not, I think that the other progressive lawmakers have been targeted by the right wing in a way that's incredibly unfair to them. Mm-hmm. But whether we like it or not, I like, let's say AOC decided to run. I don't think she would win. I just don't.
Okay, I think that's enough of your smears.
I knew you had AOC in mind.
What? Bro, he said that's enough from your smears, just because. No, I want to talk about that because it is funny, but it absolutely describes how they are. She just literally said, I don't think she would win. What are you smearing AOC? Isn't that what happens on Twitter, Nick? Isn't that what happens on Twitter? It's the same thing.
I'm literally listening to this analysis. I ain't watched TLT in I don't know how long. Man, this shit don't even make sense, man. It's so divorced from reality. They just say things that is backed by no logic. Now, I'm explaining what they're not saying here, right? Because they talking about Bernie's potential 2024 run. And I promise you, we're like the only channel that talk about actual revolutionary discipline, right? So let's get into this concept. And I was asking some of my Twitter people like, oh, should let's support Bernie? I know the answer to that. I'm not gonna tell you motherfuckers what to fill in the ballot box. But think about, we raised, do you guys know the exact number? It was like fucking tens of millions of dollars. Let me I'm gonna look up Bernie campaign raise. Let's see how much money they raise. It said, damn, see, this is just for 1 month. Holy shit. So I think it's safe to say that Bernie raised over $100 million. Because I see one article that said Bernie raised $46 million in February. Bernie Sanders raised $34 million in the fourth quarter. That's another headline I see. That's like a few months after that. So combine all this stuff, it seemed like he raised at least $100 million. I don't know the full number, but I know for a damn fact, according to Politico, at one point he raised $46 million in 1 month. As a left movement, are we really going to spend and raise hundreds of millions of dollars again for what? So I'm legitimately asking people, if you look at the amount of money that we raised for Bernie Sanders in the last two elections, 2016 and 2020, combine that number and look how astronomical that is. What could the left have done with this money that was essentially flushed down the toilet? Bernie gave his email list to the Democrats. I still get texts from random motherfuckers like, yo, you want to help my election? Hey, Republicans are saying this. Like, I signed up for no motherfucker Democrats my entire life. Bernie Sanders' campaign was the only campaign that I signed up for. Now he gave his email list to the Democratic Party. So you're gonna give his email, you're gonna give your email to him again? Luckily, I don't check that shit no more. I still get texts every once in a while, right? So we're gonna build this big movement that Bernie's gonna abandon when he lose. When I say he's gonna lose, he's gonna lose. They're not gonna let him win. Let me show you guys this headline. I had this prepared earlier. I'll pull it up now to help drive my point home. For all the people that live in fairy tale land, I was reporting on this. I can't see the full story, but you can see the headline because it's ad blocked. They're from the New York Times. Democratic Party leaders willing to risk party damage to stop Bernie Sanders. This was released after the Nevada caucus when it seemed like Bernie was going to win. So I'm telling you guys, they would have let Trump win again. They would, even if Bernie won, they would have stole that shit. They remember the conversation when they was like when they were having open debates where it was like, do you think the person with the most delegates should be the candidate? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was reporting at the time, because remember back then I was more like I was a pro Bernie person. I was telling people at the time, like, yo, they're gonna steal it. Why do you think they talking about this shit in the media? They don't talk about random shit in the media that has no consequence. They were trying to get people primed for Joe Biden or anyone to be installed after Bernie won. Luckily enough for the Democratic Party, they didn't need to do that because Bernie lost, because his campaign was trash, right? So I'm bringing this up because if Bernie does run again, if we are wrong, which I don't think we are, if Bernie runs again, even if he won, he's not going to win. So then we're going to spend all this money that could have went for mutual aid, could have went for Tour for the Poor. It could have went for a countless amount of actions. That's the criticism I have of the movement. And when you listen to Anna's video, when you listen to John's video, and there are going to be a lot of people covering the story soon. I promise you, there's going to be a video almost on every single channel talking about this. I promise you, we are going to be the only ones who talk about resource management. When people ask about, should we support Bernie again? It's about resource management. I don't put enough stock into electoral politics to care about what you sign up in the ballot box. I really don't give a fuck. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you guys are going to donate, if you're going to spend time canvassing for Bernie, that's a massive waste of your fucking time. Because they're not going to win, and they're going to flush that money down the toilet. Hell, they may even get that money to Conor Lamb again, the same way AOC did. AOC gave money to CIA Democrats like Conor Lamb. She gave money to people who don't even support Medicare for all. So that's the discussion that we need to have. And I promise you guys, watch how everyone covers this. In that whole video, they didn't bring on resource management one time. Because I see people in this discussion, they were saying, what do we have to lose by supporting Bernie? What do we have to lose? We at least should take our shot. We could lose millions of dollars. Millions and millions of dollars that could go into other productive leftist projects for something that's not going to win. So honestly, like, bro, if you want to go vote for him, I'm not going to tell you not to. I don't give a fuck. I think we should focus on third parties. I'm not going to. But I'm not focused on that. If you start donating to them, nah, fuck that. Now you get into the realm of revolutionary undisciplined, right? That's why I stand. CJ, you got anything else?
Yeah. Actually, not on this story. I'm gonna move to the CNN Plus story next. I have the CNN Plus stuff set up. We can always come back to Bernie if you have more comments.
I think that was pretty good coverage, I think.
Yeah, CNN Plus is closing its doors, is shuttering. And I have their Twitter page up just to show you how terrible they're doing. They have 4,000.8 thousand followers.
Wait, what?
On Twitter. I mean, on YouTube. Less than 5,000 followers. 5,000, not 500,000. Less than 5,000 followers on YouTube. and look at the views of their freaking videos. 1,700, 1,200. Here's a big one. 7,000. But look at this. This doesn't even crack this even crack 1,000. So many videos not even cracking 1,000. 317 views, bro. 200. This is CNN.
Bro, my personal YouTube video get more views than that.
Exactly.
Like the YouTube video I literally don't use no more, the one I never promote, they will get like more views than this. They got about as many subscribers as I do too, which is insane.
Now let's listen to how they the coverage. Where is the one I wanted to? So we'll listen to Fox, and then we'll go to Kyle, who also kind of covered that it's on its way out. But where is it at? Fox News coverage. This one right here. Commercial. So just letting everybody know, it's probably going to be a commercial first. Then we'll get right into it. All right.
He's been following these developments that I must say he was on long before anyone else, and it concerns CNN Plus, their streaming service that they are now shutting down a little more than a month after starting it up. Charlie, what are you hearing? What happened?
Well, I got the call today around 11:30, and on my Twitter page, we were first to report that Andrew Morse, the head of CNN Digital, was out, and that a major announcement regarding CNN Plus was in the works. The tell was that Andrew Morse is a long-time media executive. He was one of Jeff Zucker's right-hand man. If there was a sort of rabbi
Jeff Zucker
CNN Plus, it would be Andrew Morse, and that was the tell that they were going to shut down the whole thing. For weeks, we've been reporting that the launch was horrible. It didn't sign up a lot of people. It was CNN kept denying it, but the numbers don't lie. And on top of that, you have to look at it this way: they're involved in a merger, right? CNN is part of Warner Media that has been bought by Discovery. They're merging it together. They have to get $4 billion of cost savings. Probably the lowest hanging fruit in that whole, in that mess that David Zaslav, the head of Discovery, has to put together and squeeze savings out is CNN Plus, because it's new, it's not really integrated.
Okay, so that's the business side. I did want to get just that part of it out of the way, and then Kyle kind of talks about it.
Here we go again, y'all.
We're gonna
Here we go again.
Discussion a little more.
CNN Plus looks doomed. Oh, what a delicious headline that is. Warner Bros. Discovery has suspended all external marketing spend for, I think I'm supposed to say spent for CNN Plus, and has laid off CNN's longtime chief financial officer as it weighs what to do with the subscription streaming service moving forward. 5 sources tell Axios. Jeez. Inside CNN, executives think the launch has been successful. Discovery executives disagree. CNN Plus has roughly 150,000 subscribers so far. Warner Bros. Discovery wants to eventually build one giant service around HBO Max. New leadership has replaced CNN CFO Brad Farrer with Neil Chugani, Discovery's current CFO for streaming.
So I'll cut it there.
Yeah, very fucking boring ass analysis there.
Yeah.
I got a lot to say about this. This is fucking hilarious.
Go ahead.
So
I'll find then that'll give me time, because this is not the original video. I just couldn't find the original video. So go ahead. I'll find the original video I wanted to play.
So let me explain to you guys what this tells me. Now, I see a lot of people wondering how much money they lost. Dude, they lost, and this is what I've been reading. They spent $300 million on CNN Plus. $300 million and they got less than 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Remember when we talked about CJ in the process of decolonizing people's mind? The idea of people thinking that these bourgeoisie elite reporters, that the people that work for the New York Times, Washington Post, the people on CNN, the people on MSNBC, people think they are there because they are brilliant people. Guys, there is no such thing in meritocracy in this country, right? So the reason why you see the person that worked for CNN is because their daddy got them a job there. Or the only reason they got into elite institution, because there was a study that shows that the people that work for CNN, MSNBC, they are some of the most highly educated professions in the country. They all go to Ivy educated schools. That's where they rub elbows with politicians. They only got to where they at because of their connections. A lot of these people are dumb as a box of rocks. Why do you think when it comes to foreign policy, they repeat state propaganda? They repeat what the state TV say. They got that job because they know this dumb not gonna think. Then he's not gonna rock the boat. If they fuck up and they get Chris Donahue that accidentally fucks up and say the truth on like a Iraq war, they will fire him. Now, this is the final point I want to make, and I want to get CJ back in here because they lost, and this round up my point. They lost $300 million and failed. Now I'm gonna ask this question, CJ. Imagine, now guys, just imagine what RBN would do if we had $300 million. Do you think we will fail in less than a month? We make no money. We got no resources, and we got more subscribers than CNN Plus do. Guys, imagine what we could do with the amount of money that they just burnt through. There is all the goons you see on CNN, MSNBC, and reporting the news. They are clowns of the highest order, and that's why they're in the position they are. They know they won't rock the boat, and even if they wanted to, they know they're too dumb to do it. But go ahead, CJ.
Yeah, this. So I finally got it queued up. It was The Hill Rising with Brianna Joy. She goes over it right here.
Is CNN Plus doomed? Well, Warner Brothers Discovery suspended all external marketing spending for CNN Plus and laid off CNN's longtime chief financial officer as it decides what to do with the streaming service going forward, according to Axios.
CNN Plus has about 150,000 subscribers so far, and Warner Brothers Discovery wants to eventually build one giant service around HBO Max. According to Axios, there's chatter that a live newscast is being floated to replace Chris Cuomo's primetime slot, a change from, quote, personality-driven perspective programming. Not good.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that one was emphasizing personality-driven content around these particular personalities already kind of begs the question of what they were thinking over there.
Right.
Especially, I gotta say, in a time of crisis when there's so many substantive issues to be talking about, it gets under my leftist crawl to think that that was the focus over there. But it's hard to believe that any changes they're going for at this point could be worse than the choices they've made right now, given the colossal failure in views and subscribers that they've gotten so far.
How do they come back for that, Nick? How do they come back from this colossal failure? Like, how do they say they know what they're doing? How do they say people want to watch Don Lemon or whoever, whatever other goon they have on CNN? Like, this just proves what is his name, Stelter? It just proves what people have been saying, that they're all the same. Nobody really wants to watch you. Like, dude, it feels like the anchors don't understand that you only have viewers watching you because they're forced. They don't have any other options here. They literally have 3 options to watch 24-hour news. So you got right wing, right? So that leaves the right wing channel. That's why they got all the viewers. They're trying to act like your content is just off the chain. It's not. If you don't give people an option, then they're forced to have to pick from you. And it's the same sort of thing with the duopoly and the red blue game, and so on and so on.
Yeah, I love the point that you and Brown drew great, because that was the first thing that popped in my mind when I first saw the headline. Is, of course, because I don't understand why they thought that these people, that they got their following because they're interesting people. That's not what happened. Like, CNN is like the default. Like, you be at a gym and CNN will be there. Like, people like Casey Hunt legitimately think that people watch her and follow her because she's interesting. Now, let me show you guys something. And you guys want to know why CNN Plus failed? Look at this riveting content, right? Today on The Source Casey, I spoke to Dr. Anthony Fauci about the mass court decision, vaccines for young children, and what it will like, and what it's like living as a hero to some and a villain to others. So she had this exclusive
for him.
Yes. So she had this exclusive interview with Dr. Fauci where she talking about vaccine for kids. And she like, why do some people think you're a hero and some people think you're a villain? And they're wondering why people don't sign up for this shit. Bro, I could not think of least interesting content in my fucking life than this shit. This is what they was advertising. And they wonder why, and they wonder why they lost $300 million. Like,
where's that comment?
She thinks she got this following. Like, she got 600,000 followers. She thinks she got that following because she has this unique personality. She got this following because she was spoon-fed to audiences who had a chance would never ever choose to listen to you. Especially listen. I can't help.
I saw the choice.
I was looking for more info to show you guys. I saw this, and this is why CNN Plus fell. Who will and I feel like no matter where you fall on the COVID culture war, I feel like no matter where you fall, this is not interesting content. Like, this is not interesting content. Like, even if you love vaccines, why would you spend an hour of your time watching this?
Why would you spend money? I think that's the big thing. But this person says, I heard that the only show people watched on CNN Plus was Jeffrey Toobin. That guy. What are they watching it for? To see what he pops out? Like, what are they watching it for?
Come on, Malcolm.
These people are clowns, Nick. This is clown shit, Nick. This is clown shit, man. You got the propaganda. Nobody's buying this war propaganda with Ukraine. You got Jeffrey Toobin pulling out shit on Zoom meetings, and he's the one with the #1 show on this channel that spent hundreds of millions of dollars but can't even get 5,000 subscribers on YouTube.
He actually had a show?
Yes, man. It's fucking a joke, man.
Oh my god.
Fucking a joke. I think that was a good way for us to end. We've come to the 2:00 hour. Unless you had more. Oh no, you had another story. Let's get to that because we got another maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, I have one more. It's gonna be long because it also kind of ties into this. And this is also kind of like a discussion story, right? So we just saw the struggles of CNN Plus. And now Netflix is also in the toilet. Now Netflix stock like plunged by like 20%. And there are a lot of people who have like questions or concerns about why that happening. And now you want to know, Elon Musk decided to chime in. And now I told you, I cover every single story I cover for a reason. I know this seems like a silly story, but I told you it has a point, right? So look at this tweet that Elon Musk sent regarding why Netflix is struggling. So here's the original tweet. Netflix shares crater 20% after company reports it lost subscribers for the first time in more than 10 years. Then Elon Musk says this. Now, I think this is worthy of discussion because I want to make a point here. Elon says the woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable. The woke mind virus. Now, there's so many. I saw people talking about this. I saw this tweet. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this because I want you guys to understand that Elon Musk is not our friend. He is not our ally. Elon Musk, his only job is to promote and push the culture war. Why does he push and promote the culture war? To destroy class and worker solidarity. So to say, and anybody who's on the right who believe that Netflix and Hollywood is anywhere near on the left, you are beyond absurd. Netflix and Hollywood in general, all of their content is propaganda and military-industrial complex bootlicking. Yeah. The Hollywood is CIA. They literally push pro-war in all their action movies. They always have a cop as a hero in every single film and footage. So I am challenging right-wingers. What exactly is it about supporting giant military budgets, giant police budgets, glorifying cops, glorifying invasions? What is it about that is necessarily woke? Was another reason I'm bringing this up. Because the right wing and the left wing work in conjunction with each other to destroy worker solidarity. Now, a lot of people will say, well, Elon was saying that a lot of people in Hollywood, they pretend to be on their side. I understand what you're saying. But my question is, and no one else is going to cover like this because we are a black network. My question to people is, why are you guys allowing the war criminal shit libs to hijack a term that came from the black community. Now, Elon Musk knows why he's doing this. The capitalists know why they're doing this, because woke is about being intellectual about your surroundings, right? It came from the black community. White people hijacked it and turned it into something negative, right? And liberals did that on purpose. So being woke is not about identifying the prison industrial complex and how they steal wages from us, right? Being woke is not about calling out our capitalist system like Wall Street stealing wealth from us. All of a sudden, woke become these insignificant, irrelevant culture war issues that no one really cares about. It's something that only a small percent of DC heads talk about. And Elon Musk is more than happy to go along with that. You see how and people pretend that Hollywood, Netflix is woke. Liberals, they bastardize what it means to show some solidarity and support to black people, Africans, Americans, because there is a point that's right. They pretend to be on our side, but they support police, militarism, example, right? You cannot allow them. And I'm asking you guys, my white allies, why do you guys join with the right wing on their culture war nonsense? Kareem Batesh will tell you, when you have these people complain about wokeism in Hollywood, they're not talking about leftism. Do you think Elon Musk is really critiquing Hollywood and Netflix for being left? That shit derives from the fact that black people are not being treated like criminals. Your protagonist is not a white dude with brown hair. So it comes from that culture war. So you see how Elon Musk is pushing that divisive culture war? So the people who always decry black activists, they decry us. They're like, why you guys always use the race, pull the race card, all this stuff? No, the right pull the race card more than anyone else. Their whole politics is is white identity politics. That's their entire political ideology. So the reason why they call Netflix and Hollywood woke, do you guys know why they do this? And this is literally what they tell me when I can show you guys a tweet where some people are like, no, he actually mean they're talking about this. You want to know why they mad? They mad because they see more trans people. They see more black people in their film. It had nothing to do with pushing left economics. It had nothing to do with pushing liberation. It's literally just a bunch of white people who want to see more white people on Netflix. And Elon Musk knows that that's his side, so he goes along with it. Now let's share Elon's tweet again. Right here it is. The woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable. Why do you think he's doing that? This is the tweet I sent out earlier. And this is the point of the segment. Elon Musk has a contract with the military industrial complex. Do you guys know that? Elon Musk, when asked about coups, was like, we can coup whoever we want. He was talking about how we extract wealth from African nations. He is an imperialist, capitalist of the highest order. So everything he does is by design. When he sends tweets like these, and this is why I implore you guys to stop doing this shit. You guys do this shit to own the libs, but only thing you're doing is disrupting worker solidarity. Because when a black person see this shit, when a trans person see this shit, they're not comfortable working with you anymore. And it's not their fault. It's your fault because a trans worker, a black worker, a Latino worker is a worker. And by pushing these fucking culture war right-wing bullshit that you guys think is just owning the libs, you guys are actually destroying worker solidarity. That's what it really is, what it's really about. Now, I'm trying to find my original tweet. I'm trying to see where we at. Here it is. I think. There's my, God damn it. Here it is. See, I'm glad I put up numbers, right? So this is what I said. Then my tweet, and I know I went for a while and I passed it to CJ. Like I said, this doesn't have to be a long segment. This is my tweet thread. Elon Musk and right wingers pretend that Netflix and Hollywood is woke, but so much of their content is blatant police or military industrial complex propaganda. The people who actually think Hollywood and like the people who make these movies, the people who make these casting decisions, do you guys really think they have some sort of fucking left hegemonic ideology? That's what Elon Musk and the right wingers want you to think. The Hollywood millionaires and billionaires are fucking capitalists, union busters. Remember the Hollywood writer strike? They're union busters. But their job is to make people think they're not. Their job is to make people think they're not on the same side. The same people that now about Elon Musk own a Tesla. It's theater. This whole shit is theater. And this last part I want to read out because there's another point I want to make. People think Hollywood propaganda only affects liberals. God, why do you think conservatives support police states and police in our military industrial complex? As I explained here, right wingers, they literally support giant police budgets despite the contradiction. If you look at old school libertarian, there are a lot of libertarians who still have this idea. Old school Republicans was all for low police budgets, low military budgets, because that's small government. That's don't tread on me. But they've been brainwashed by propaganda. And propaganda comes from where, CJ? Hollywood.
Hollywood.
Oh, isn't it interesting that Republicans and right wingers want to pretend that they somehow we're anti-Hollywood? Hollywood brainwashes liberals. No, Hollywood brainwashed your ass too, because you saw Rush Hour and you thought that's how cops actually operate. You saw Die Hard. You thought that's how cops actually operate. You saw Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You laughed at a few of the jokes. You're like, man, cops must be fun to be around. That is what Republicans go for. So that's my point. It doesn't have to be too long. I just want to cover that part and kind of get my my take on that. So CJ, you can add anything you want.
No, as always, you are way more in tune with what's the reaction, because I had no idea what the divide was about Elon Musk saying he wants to buy Twitter. So there are some leftists who are like, yeah, Elon Musk. There's some leftists that's like that, is what you're saying?
I don't understand, because people say Elon Musk is a free speech absolutist, even though he cracked down and robbed the free speech of Tesla workers who were trying to unionize. So I sent out this viral tweet. Once again, I went viral a few times dragging Elon Musk. And I was saying, if you're a leftist, if you're an anti-capitalist, and you think Elon Musk is going to stand for anti-imperialist voices, like, remember the story we covered on this channel, how Sandinistas had their Twitter pages, their Facebook pages, their Instagram pages illegally pulled by the United States government because they supported the socialist leader? Do you think Elon Musk is going to stand for them? Do you think Elon Musk is going to stand for organized workers? I don't believe it. He is just marketing you guys. That is what billionaires do. You are a product, and Elon Musk is marketing to you guys brilliantly, saying that he's for free speech, even though I have not seen it. Look at how he cracked down on Tesla unionization efforts. You think he's on our side? Nah. So I don't trust any billionaire. Now, there is a point to be made that all the media, Twitter, and all this stuff is controlled by billionaires anyway. But I don't believe in the lesser of two evil billionaires.
Yeah, absolutely.
These motherfuckers are not malevolent. They don't give a fuck. They just care about the profit. Right? So there's some people, I don't even want to get to it because I want to wrap up there. But Elon Musk is, I'm gonna wrap up with this one thing. Elon Musk simps are very aggressive and they're very passionate about his support for Elon Musk. The working class people who believe Elon Musk is like this new is like a Tony Stark. They some hero that is fighting against establishment. And I say this with 100% sincerity. The Elon Musk fans that think that he's on our side, that he's fighting the establishment by going to war against Twitter, are probably the dumbest people in politics. And if you're a working class person and you support Elon Musk, you're probably the biggest class traitor in recent human history. Supporting Elon Musk is like supporting Bill Gates as far as I'm concerned. You guys know how he made his money? Emerald mines in South Africa that his colonizer parents ran. Elon Musk, like, bro, there have been so many leftist takedowns, like long Twitter threads exposing this guy. So the only people who don't see it are the people who don't want to see it, right? So we can wrap the segment with that.
Elon's family owned a slave labor emerald mine. He is not a good guy.
So how do you guys think he got that wealth? The same way Jeff Bezos, he got his business started because he got like a $500,000 loan from friends and family. There's no such thing as a self-made billionaire. Ironically, the athlete is the closest thing you would get to that. But
right, if you don't include all the people that's helping him to make it to that point, if you do that. But Elon's family, but this is also, I wanted to bring this back up to prove the point that I'm trying to think, is there any old white money, mean generational passed down, that doesn't come from exploitation? I'm trying to think of one. Robert Kraft? No. Like, I'm trying to think of any of these people with all this money that doesn't come. We already know Jeff Bezos, exploitation, Elon Musk and his family, Johnson and Johnson. Like, it just goes on and on. Like,
so
goes on and on. Go ahead.
You see a ton of corporate Republicans. I saw like a ton of corporate Republicans showing support for Elon Musk. And I'm asking, why do you guys think that the biggest enemies, some of the biggest enemies of the working class, like Elon Musk, and there are people that actually think that he gives a fuck about us? Elon Musk is literally a part of the military-industrial complex, and that is not exaggeration. Elon Musk has contracts for the military-industrial complex, right? SpaceX and the global military-industrial complex. This is the Google search. This is open information, right? Musk the pawn of U.S. military-industrial complex. But there are people, they have this narrative in their head that Elon Musk is somehow battling against the establishment because liberals don't like him. You guys see the deeply unserious people that we are forced to talk about?
They keep getting drawn into the whole blue-red game without being a part of the team.
Yep. In the same way that AOC fans have celebrity worship for AOC, they have celebrity worship. If anything, that's worse. Like I said, I told you they're probably I got no respect because, bro, you're simping for a billionaire colonizer who had a slave emerald mount, who guys went through slave fucking emerald places, whatever. It fucking literally got contracts with the military-industrial complex. Will literally call union busting, and I swear to God, there's way more receipts. These are literally what I just remember on top of my head. I have seen long takedowns playing all his track record, and he's trying to pace himself as like a billionaire that's different from other billionaires. No, if you're a billionaire, especially the best billionaire, he's the best one. He got the most wealth, right? He do billionaire shit. He the Michael Jordan of billionaires. He is the best at exploitation.
Right.
And on top of that, one last thing on Elon, because I'm a climate activist. I'm really well read on climate change, right? There are a lot of fucking dumbasses that are like, Elon Musk, he want to fight for climate change because he got electric cars. Elon Musk, he makes electric cars. He care about the environment, guys. How are you gonna make an electric car and then charge so much that no one can buy it except only like the top 1%? This is why it's a fucking scam. And then they're like, well, if you have hybrids, I used to sell cars all the time, so I know the scam. If you get a hybrid, you save money on gas. You save money on fucking car repairs. But then they charge you more for a hybrid car. They charge you a shit ton for a Tesla. You would save money if you just got a fucking gas car, cheaper gas car. You would literally save more money doing that. So Elon Musk instead say, well, he helping fight the climate crisis by coming out with electric cars. And anyone who's a Marxist know that's not nearly enough because the problem is coming from the top 1%. But not only that, your electric cars, most working class people cannot buy, which defeats the entire purpose of the climate change initiative. So you guys understand, he found a way to monetize the goodwill of fighting the climate crisis. Because he was like, guys, give me money. I'm going to take government grants like he did. So he's a welfare queen, going by their logic. He decries socialism, but he take government money. He take government aid because he's working for climate change on a solution that's not going to do anything to address the problem. But anyway, that's my final take on Elon Musk. He's a joke. Anyone who thinks he's on our side is a joke. It's beyond. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, just the different.
That's a good point too.
That's
a good point.
Yeah, just the different leftist takes on Elon Musk just kind of tells me propaganda is still swirling in our leftist media. Or I'm sorry, in our leftist sort of spaces is still permeating. Elon Musk is the poster child of nepotism.
They are. All the billionaires are.
They all are. Because just imagine Don Jr. And before Donald Trump, this is a great example. Donald Trump is the second of the Donalds, of the Trumps, to be famous. He's not the original. Just like when he's gone, his son is gonna be the Don, the Trump that's out, and all of them. Like Donald Trump is the son. He's not the first. Yes, all corporations and billionaires are welfare queens.
And then he rails against it though. So that's one of them things him and Sims always ignore. Because only reason I know this is because I saw him talking shit on socialism, and then someone dunked on him like, "All right, you hate socialism, but why are you taking government subsidies?" Now we know that socialism isn't just when government does stuff and when they finance projects. That's not what socialism is. But it's still a funny dunk. It's still a funny dunk because you are against public financing of projects. That is what they are against. When they derail against socialism, they really don't know what it means, but they essentially derailing against the public financing of projects, which does happen under socialism. But socialism is more than that. Socialism is about who owns and controls the means of production. Worker power.
They want to concentrate on the what propaganda against socialism wants to concentrate on the dispersing of goods, shared goods. They never want to talk about the first step, which is the means of production and the exploitation in that part, right? They never want to talk about that. It's always, well, it's uneven, really? So let's go back. Okay, it's uneven. Let's go back to the means of production part and how you're paying these people slaves. They never want to talk about that. That's just a point. In studying socialism, when I did that episode, that was something that kept coming up.
Yeah, there's so many concepts and aspects of socialism and different ways you can implement it. So right wingers, they don't even know what it is. Like whenever I see their caricatures of it
at all,
according to and the funny thing, liberals fall for it too, where they think their definition of socialism is literally just when government does stuff. Oh,
it's been watered down to mean only that because that's all capitalists want you to know about it. They don't want you to know all the other stuff.
Now these things are rooted when you have a public pool that finances social programs and social goods. That idea is rooted in the concept of building community, socialist and communist projects. But the ideology of socialism as an economic contract is more than that. It's about worker control. That's what it's about. And they never talk about that. Because honestly, dude, I talk to right wingers when you talk about empowering workers, people will be down for that. So they avoid talking about that part. They're like, well,
don't talk about that part.
They just want to fucking spend all this money. Like I can't even do a good job imitating it because it's so cartoonish.
Right, because you know the real parts of it.
I have a hard time imitating, but you guys see what they say. But we can wrap up, CJ. Do you have anything you want to plug? I'll be back on tomorrow. So I don't have a ton to plug. Actually,
no. Wait, you got tonight? Don't you got something?
Yeah, we doing.
You got the international. You got that.
Double shit. We doing some Israel coverage today. That's why I'm like, man, I want to jump on with CJ and have some fun today because we did talk about Israel tonight. I don't know if I'm gonna have a ton of laughs when we talking about that topic.
Not when talking about Israel.
We will have Assad. Right. That's why we're trying to have fun. We have fun topics, then we have topics that are like, all right, buckle up. You guys don't like clicking on those, but we still do them. You guys love
that's so funny. I saw you talking about that in a stream, or maybe it was I forget. I saw you talking about that today, and I was thinking of the same thing, Nick. When I do the I Am Revolution, 2,000 views.
You guys
don't if I do some Jimmy Dore stuff, 6,000 views. Like it's very I don't know. I just don't like that. I wish that it was the flip around. I wish it was the flip.
I don't get it because I don't know. I'm not into it. You guys watch what you enjoy. That's all I'm gonna say. So this is the only thing I'm gonna plug here because now we got the Anti-Imperialist Summit next weekend. So now we need you guys' help. Like spread a hashtag Anti-Imperialist Summit on Twitter, on your social media of choice, because we're trying to make this a pretty big event. Zoya texted me literally while we was on the show. We got Aaron Mate. He's gonna be joining us as well. We gotta get time for him. We're gonna have Caleb Moppin. He replied to me while we was live. We're gonna have him. We're also gonna have Pasta from the Combo Couch. We also have Nico and his network. I always say his network wrong. I do not mean any disrespect by that, but isn't it like Mikasa network? I mean no disrespect by that. I just always forget. But,
his network. Let's just say his network.
Yes, Abby gonna do panel with him. But these are also other speakers that we have, and big shout out to Dr. Kareem Batesh, Dr. Peter Beatty, because they've been helping us get a lot of these guests because they're from academia, so they got a lot of pull, I guess. I don't know how they do it. They great because they got Dr. Vashay Bashad. I've been watching his coverage on Ukraine, Russia, and he actually known for a lot more than that. But his recent coverage on Russia, Ukraine. He's been doing the podcast circuit. It's probably been some of the best I have seen. I'm not even exaggerating. I've been watching a ton. I told you I watched a ton of corporate media. I mean, in order to prepare to do these shows for you guys. Dr. Vishay Bashad, if I'm saying that correctly, has been probably the best on that issue. Like the way he breaks it down has been incredible. So I'm super happy that Dr. Kareem Bates got him. I think he'll be joined on Sunday. Dr. Gerald Horn.
That's a big one.
All my anti-imperialist friends, he's been probably the most suggested person. Like I'm not talking like the casual fan, but I'm talking like the anti-imperialist like stands like me. They're like, guys, why are you not having Gerald Horn on? Get Dr. Gerald Horn. I'm like, guys, I wish I could. We would love nothing more than have him on. So
yeah, we're trying to get Richard Wolff too. We've been trying. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard, guys. We developing clout. We don't got a ton yet. We developing it. So I'm super excited to have Dr. Gerald Horn on. Obviously, we're gonna have friend of the show, Margaret Campbell, Dr. Joe Stein. I'm becoming familiar. I'm no disrespect. I think it's Zune. I don't want to fuck your name up, but I looked into them. They do. I think Dr. Peter Beatty got this guest. They're gonna do a China panel. They wrote a lot of good books about imperialism, the Cold War against China. That's who this person is. Michael Hudson writes a lot about imperialism as well. You guys know Q. He's on Callin. He's a big popular Twitter account. He's great on the issue of imperialism. Jimmy Dore. We're gonna have a conversation talking about how media manufacture consent towards war. And then maybe we dive into like a current event like Afghanistan, Ukraine, that kind of stuff. So we're still developing this the summit. I'm gonna have I'm working on getting. I got one historian. I want to get at least another one on the CIA history panel. That's still in production. Dr. Kareem Bates is gonna have a professor on talking about the history of Dutch imperialism. Anyway, we're still working on a few things, but this is our next big event. We're gonna have intermissions as well, just because time zones make it very difficult to book these kind of events, but it's gonna be a good weekend. So please help us share this. So CJ, any last words? That's the only thing I want to promote for now. I still got another show tonight. So CJ, anything else you want to say?
Nothing to promote. This is my last show of the week. I will be off the weekend, Friday the weekend, and I will see everybody on Monday unless something pops off where I have to do a special episode like we did last week on the weekend. You never know when Nick and I might just drop a special episode. Oh, man, if we could get her, I don't know who knows her or who could reach out to her, but if we are able to get her,
JB got him on
absolutely.
JB got her on his show before. We need to get JB to reach out to.
He
I don't
did.
know how yeah,
oh,
JB
then yeah, he did.
That was like last summer. It was a long time ago.
Oh, then he
So
yeah, he definitely
I don't know
got
how
to
he
reach
did
out to
that.
her.
Also, we had Richard Medhurst. RJ actually got that guest. I have no idea how he did that. When we first talked to Richard Medhurst, we talked to Richard Medhurst literally like a third week. It was like we was brand new. He joined.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to get him back on since. So honestly, as a small community, we need your guys' help. Zoya been helping booking guests for us as well. We're gonna do like a panel on Ukraine, Russia with a lot of her friends, and she got Aaron Mate for me and a few other people. So if you guys want to see some voices, help us out. Tweet at them.
Oh, is Aaron and Max gonna be on?
Aaron Mate said yes, according to Zoya. We just got to book a time. Like Zoya literally texted me while we was live. So we got Aaron Mate and Caleb Maupin agreed today. Caleb gonna come on an hour. Like I'm gonna do my show with Jimmy, and then Caleb Maupin gonna come on, and then I think Josana has a panel after that on Saturday. I think that's how it works. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So we're gonna have Jimmy Dore 4 p.m. Eastern. Caleb Maupin 5 p.m. Eastern. Then we're gonna do indigenous Brazilian panel.
Did you have VJ on that list? Did you put VJ that we got VJ? Was he on that list of names you had?
Yeah.
He was. Okay, just making sure. Ajamu, we're still trying to get, and the Black Alliance for Peace just haven't heard back. So we're still trying to get them. Yeah.
Hey guys, I will actually love to get like some imperialists to come on, like especially for like a Ukraine Russia panel. I would love to see that debate go on. Like, imagine we had like the Mickey Kantz on the same panel with Caleb Maupin and Aaron Mate, and they debated Ukraine, Russia.
Oh, that would be great.
Like, bring the Mickey Kantz, Emma Vigeland, Sam
and
Cedar.
Anna. Anna has to come.
I would do
she
it,
may
guys.
not come with Aaron. She may not come if Aaron.
You guys may get mad at me because he's like, "Why are you platforming?" I would do that shit because that shit would be hilarious, but it would never happen. They would never agree. No. I tell you, they would never agree to that. But I promise you, they did, and they were like, "Yeah, we think you guys are tankies. We think you're getting Russia, Ukraine wrong. I saw your coverage of Israel, Palestine. I'm calling you out, Nick. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I actually would do it, but I promise you they would never do it.
They would never do it. They would never do it because they don't want to be put on Front Street by a black-led, very small network of uneducated, like college degreed people. They would in their world they would be. That's like when a guy. Well, I don't even want to use that analogy, but yeah, I'll leave it there. I think that's all I have. I'm gonna leave you with a Fred Hampton video this time. But thank you everybody on Rockfin who watches. Thank you we're still building on Rockfin. Hopefully next week we will start to be able to stream on Rumble. We're gonna be on Odyssey. We are diversifying everything. I'll read a couple of comments. There's only 2. Ailey on Rockfin was just giving you what the name of that theory was, the horseshoe theory. And then Ellie also said, Nick, JD, and other leftists don't disagree with you about Tucker politics. They just realized that the platform size is worth it. Yes.
Yeah,
So
don't get me wrong. I roasted Tucker Carlson. And the only reason I did that rant, because you guys know I never talk about him. I've been watching a few of his fucking shows. I'm like, bro, I had to at least I gotta say this shit. He's so horrible. But so it's not like something I'm gonna be obsessed with. And I'm not opposed to people going on Tucker's show. If Tucker invite me on the show, I dare him. I will take that shit in a heartbeat. I'll take that shit in a heartbeat.
If he asks me, I'm going.
Yeah, hell yeah, I'll take that shit.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to understand, I'm not impressed by Tucker, but I'm not one of these fucking stupid shit libs like, yeah, you should never talk to him. That's not the point I was making. My point is that he does the same thing that AOC and progressives do. People give him props for talking about certain issues, like he talked about Julian Assange, but Donald Trump went after Julian Assange. The problem is he would talk about issues, but then he would sheep herd people to the red team. So anyway, sorry, we can wrap up. Let's play a video.
We'll wrap up. My last pitch for people like this stream. We're just under 300 likes. If we can get to 300 before we're gone, it is very important that these streams are liked. Subscribe to us. Let me see where we're at. Nick, we're actually moving a lot faster now. Once we got over 15,000, now it's moving back to normal. I was moving before. So let me tell you where we're at now, just to give everybody.
Hey, CJ, remember after the Drone Strike Summit where we didn't move at all, and then
that was crazy,
dude. I don't know what happened, but I know something fucking happened.
Oh, they put something on us. Yeah,
dude, we was going 1,000 subscribers a month before the Drone Strike Summit, and then after the Drone Strike Summit, it turned off, and now it's back on for some reason. Like, so I'm like, all right, you did something after the goddamn summit. I don't know what it is. Yes, I'm gonna be.
They did something majorly because it didn't go just to a few. It went to 0. Like we had like people adding. Yeah, it
was like 12.9 for like 6 weeks. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah,
and then
it was crazy.
Just stopped, and then all of a sudden we start gaining subscribers again. So you guys can call me a conspiracy theorist. I guess I am, but they definitely push a button after that. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if that shit.
Yeah, we don't know what they're doing with it, but they have control of their platform. So of course they're able to do these things without us knowing how they're doing it. But I think that's it, Nick. We're gonna leave you with this historical video from the chairman. And we're not coming back after the video, so the stream will end after the video. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Lots of great comments. We're gonna try to get unapologetic. He works a lot. Because I've tried to reach out to him just to come on here. Also, and yes, Jill Stein will be on. She's been on a couple of times on the network already. So, but Jill Stein will be on. So, JB is on my show tonight at 8 p.m. after your roundtable. Awesome. Shout that out. Awesome. So, if no last words, I'm gonna play this video. Then we're out. Where's the video at? Okay, here it goes. All right. Everybody have a great. Yes, and be back tonight. Or actually, roundtable in 30 minutes. Be back for that, and then Nick will be tonight.
Black people need some peace. White people need some peace. And we are going to have to fight. We're going to have to struggle. We're going to have to struggle relentlessly to bring about some peace. Because the people that we're asking for peace, they're a bunch of megalomaniac warmongers, and they don't even understand what peace means. We've got to fight them. We've got to struggle with them to make them understand what peace means. Bobby Seale is going through all types of physical and mental torture. But that's all right, because we said even before this happened, and we're going to say it after this, and after I'm locked up, and after everybody's locked up, that you can jail revolutionaries, but you can't jail a revolution. Right. You might run a liberator like Eric Cleave out the country, but you can't run liberation out the country. You might murder a freedom fighter like Bobby Hutton, but you can't murder freedom fighting. And if you do, you come up with answers that don't answer, explanations that don't explain. You come up with conclusions that don't conclude. And you come up with people that you thought you'd be acting like pigs, that's acting like people and moving on pigs. And that's what we've got to do. So we're going to see about Bobby, regardless of what these people think we should do. Because school is not important and work is not important. Nothing's more important than stopping fascism, because fascism will stop us all. We're going to see about Bobby, because Bobby came and saw about